We are live. Welcome to the RedBlue Pod Season 4 Bonus 1. Yes, we are now in the fourth season. Welcome, everyone. How are you, Gray?
I'm doing amazing. It's another Monday and it's another bonus. Bonuses are always great. Happy to be here. Yeah, how are you doing, Multi?
I'm doing great, and I am very glad you're with us again. And this will be the first season we'll be there from start to finish. I hope so. So welcome again. I Marvel. How are you, Marvel?
Doing fine, have been having some really tough time sleeping, but apart from that, been doing perfectly well.
That's good news that you're doing well. And now we got D Lord. Hell yeah, welcome D Lord. I'm glad to see you. Today we are doing a tier list. How are you, D Lord?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. And finally, how are you, Cole?
Pretty good.
Well, everyone is doing good. That's one of these days that we must be grateful toward because it's rare that everyone is doing well. So what a wonderful day. Anyhow, we will do this tier list. I will screen share and I hope it will not crash. Um, so we watched a lot of TV shows this season, not as many as we watched like movies and stuff, but we still have seen like many seasons of TV shows, and that's what we will be doing. So less TV shows means less tiers. We can still add more for some exception like Gotham Knight. This is like rock bottom TV,
Oh,
but
you think D is the lowest that any show goes? I'm sorry, man. There's got to be one lower than D. Like D's still passing.
Yeah, like where's the Z?
We need
okay,
Zed.
okay. We will give it a few row below. Like there we go. We will have E, and we will have F. There we go. Are you happy now, Gray?
Gray is never
I mean,
happy.
happier. Yeah, Tima knows.
Just like he never gets back to people.
So,
It's
Cole,
true. I'm an ass.
so
Especially,
I will mainly say that to Cole. I know, like, tomorrow we cover Agents of Shield season 5. We will not rank that one right now because we haven't talked about season 5 yet, and I need to rewatch the entire season. So when it comes to like Agents of Shield, we will only like scale the first 4 season. Anyhow, I just realized there's also The Gifted, which is something we will start next week. So that's another thing we will not uh, scale yet. So I guess the first thing we will place will be the masterpiece that is Batwoman first season. Outside of um, myself, Cole, and DC, I'm wondering if D Lord and Gray have seen that wonderful show.
I've seen a bit of it. I've seen enough to know that
Gray
it's
like
S tier.
Vilma. You'll like this show.
So I didn't get your response, D Lord. So have you seen Batwoman, the TV show, the masterpiece, the one and only?
Yes, I have. And as I said, if Gray liked Velma, he will like Batwoman.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. So I guess we will start with season 1. We will ask Gray, because you're on top of the row. Seriously, where would you place Batwoman first season?
So, in all seriousness, I've only seen about 2 episodes, and it did not seem great. I want to be a little generous because maybe the arc of the season makes it better, and I just missed out on it.
It
But
does.
I'm holding out hope
Don't
that maybe
spoil
it
it.
does.
Velma.
So I'd either go D or E based off of what I've seen and the treatment of Bruce Wayne. So I don't know. I guess I'd go
Oh,
E unless you're
okay.
telling me that that's too low.
That's fine. He is fair shot, and
All
and
right.
I'll add more to this, Gray. The show got slightly better as it went on, but it never flew very high. I think DC would say otherwise because DC is a huge fan of this show. So, so we will start right now by placing it at E, but it will move around because right now we only got Gray at take. So, coming next, we will have my take. This is F. This is bad. Or actually, no. Actually, this is like low E, I, F. Because F there's worse. Like Runaways season 2, it's totally worse.
You mean low? You said low E.
Look,
Yeah, low E for me. Low E like IF. But
Look,
that's only
well,
because
Gray's
I
being-
know there are
that's
worse.
part
Gray's
of
being
the
disingenuous. The funny part is they could not use Bruce Wayne because, see, I think I've said this before. There's this weird thing in CW shows that they can't use certain properties.
Yeah.
So, like, Gotham could not use Joker. So they made Jerome Velasquez Joker.
Yeah.
They have had no rights to make Batman at all.
But we had us Bruce Wayne in season 2 of Batwoman. That's amazing, right? No, it's not. It's not.
To be fair, right? Like, and this is not to excuse like the bad shows, but they don't either. It was the whole thing of, can you make a show around Batman and be fine? She is actually bisexual by comics, but they made her inseparable.
Well,
But
the second Batwoman was better than the first one because when she got fired for being a diva on set, they hired someone else, and the new
I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
not as
no.
good as Ruby Rose.
No, she left. No, Ruby Rose just got lost interest and left.
No, she got fired, bro.
No, she
Are
didn't.
you aware of like all of the drama behind the scene?
I was also I was
She
more
was
than aware.
fired, bro.
I know she
No.
broke her back for this role.
No, she got it. No, there were actually multiple injuries during this show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she
there-
wasn't the only one. Apparently, someone got burned on set or something.
Now that's a complete bullshit lie. But you know,
But no,
the only
but,
people
like,
who believe that story is the Snyder crowd.
Zack Snyder's
So-
a good director, Cole. What are you talking about, buddy?
Yeah, he's a garbage director since
Oh,
2000.
wow.
well, I guess that's a. But reality is the lesson of Batwoman. It did teach me this valuable lesson. Lesbians are very nice, kind people.
And
They do not. They do not open restaurants across the streets from people they believe are bigoted.
You know what other lesson they teach people? Don't be a bigot.
Actually, that is very funny. But
This is actually a good lesson, but I thought that
Have you-
was mishandled in the show.
Have you? Okay. Okay. Okay, Gray. You didn't get that far. Okay. Who else here knows what I'm
didn't.
talking? Who else here knows what I'm talking about?
We know. So to give context, D Lord, we covered all 3 seasons. So I made Cole watch to the end of the show, and he suffered through it. And DC actually enjoyed the experience, but he unfortunately didn't have the chance to watch season 3, which is the only like I
Yeah.
won't say
Anyway, my
decent,
thing's
but
my thing's F,
most-
by the way.
F. Okay, so F for Cole.
So basically, yes.
Yes.
So Gray, she basically, to spite an owner because she has Bruce Wayne's money, a French restaurant says she goes to basically this French restaurant which is across the street, and the waiter goes, well, I guess without knowing that she's lesbian, goes, yeah, Batwoman's a lesbian. But I wouldn't serve. So would you serve Batwoman? No, she's a lesbian. And so she immediately buys the building across the street to start another business to purposely spite the man across the street.
They literally stole from Curb Your Enthusiasm. She opens up a spite store. Like that was like the season arc on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And they did it really well. That sucks.
And there's so many good moments from this show that are examples of why progressives are bad.
And
But
have you seen the third season, D-Lord?
yes, it should have died
Do
after
you,
2.
do you remember like when Alice basically pulled these two people from the freaking ledge? It's like, bruh, where is that super strength coming from?
Well, you got to remember, though. You got to remember, as messed up as a Batwoman actually the first year, like Batwoman year 1 was actually not bad because they've never hid the fact that she's bisexual. The fact alone, and this is what people never understood, Alice was a character, but there was other little angles with it. But the show, they had a silver platter to make a decent show with progressive values. Just like in Resident Evil. You had a chance to make an evil white man the villain. And you chose not to.
So now I will ask DC. I think I already don't know the answer, but I will still ask you, DC. Where would you place Batwoman first season?
I know everyone's gonna go after me after this, but S tier.
So okay, so
not A, but S.
you really
Okay.
liked it a lot. So because we
There's
are coming
always
from
one.
F and he's S, it's basically becoming automatically C for now. But that can change because we got
No.
D-Lord
Okay,
talking
are we
now.
gonna
Wait,
do that
how's
this
it a
time?
C, though? How's it a C?
Wait. We got D-Lord opinion now. What's your opinion, D-Lord? Season 1.
It should have been burned after 1 episode or 2.
So F, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When you have the pilot episode, Ruby Rose's first line is, "It will be perfect when it fits a woman." There
it
is
was
no
pretty good.
defense of this show. There is nothing that can defend this show. And then the
defend the
later
show.
seasons don't fix it. You go to the black homeless lady who her lesbian girlfriend got involved with dealers, and she's just a lying thief. No.
Typical male wanting to fix it. Maybe it's not broken. Okay.
So coming next, the fabulous and priceless Batwoman second season. Now, Gray, you only have seen like a few episodes of season 1, but
Yeah,
have you
I'll
seen
abstain.
anything from season 2?
I have not, neither 2 nor 3. So I'll let you
Okay.
guys rank them.
Okay, so I will be first on that one. So I do think season 2 was far better than 1.
It was better, finally.
I'd say it's a D for me, like low D. So now coming next, I will ask Cole, where would you place season 2?
Oh, sorry, me.
Yeah, season 2, where would you place it? So I placed it low D.
Okay. E.
E? Okay, so that would be like top E so far. Where would you place it, DC? Because I know you have seen like 16 of the 18 episodes or something like that. Did you?
I think I finished the season, but yeah.
Okay.
I would probably put in. I don't remember if I liked it more or less in season 1. I'm gonna say high A.
IA. So IA for DC, so that would be C. And then we will ask D-Lord, where would you place season 2?
D.
D? Okay, so that would be like top D. Because that IA.
I say this
averages.
because until you get the whole, you go from Ruby Rose, which decided to leave the show because it was already floundering.
She got fired, bro.
She was not fired. If
She
anyone told
may
you,
or may not have decided to leave the show, but either way, she's gone.
she got injured on the show and she left. And it was like, okay, so the show's cursed. You introduce a black female character that's lesbian that didn't check enough boxes already. Then she is eventually a criminal herself. Which, yeah, no, the show doesn't get better. No. I need to get you to start reviewing good TV shows, not bad.
We review everything, bro. Good, bad, mid. We don't give a crap. A show is a show.
But
So,
you watch Lol Calbait that gets worse. The only reason I know of this show, I gave it like episodes. But every time you thought it could get worse, it got worse. And when it tried to redeem itself, and we can never forget the lovely Asian sister.
Mary. Yeah, that's.
oh
okay.
yeah, the doctor. The doctor.
She is not totally a back doctor who breaks rules herself.
She is a decent character, to be honest. I thought in season 1 she was mid, but as the show went on, she got better.
Oh, she gets
anyhow.
worse. She gets worse. She starts out better, then she gets worse. Sorry.
Depends on who thinks of it. So coming next, Batwoman 3rd season. The only, I won't say decent, but the only, maybe mediocre at best. It wasn't awful anymore. That's one thing. So yeah. Gray, you have not seen season 3 of Batwoman, so
I haven't had the pleasure.
well, maybe you should give it a shot. Maybe you'll like it. So now I know DC hasn't seen that season, or did you since we last talked? DC?
No, I have
Okay.
not. I've not seen it.
So now it relies on me, Cole, and D-Lord. So I will go first on that one. I will say this season is a low CID. So I will place it here. Where would you place it, Cole?
Low E.
Low E. Okay, so that means low D or IE. What about you, D-Lord?
Refresh me. Was this the season Gay Elf, or was this the second season?
That was 2nd season. So 3rd season was Poison Ivy. It was Alice slowly turning like more of an anti-hero, and I will try to not spoil too much because I know DC likes the show a lot. But yeah, that was the Poison Ivy season, if you remember. That was after Black Mask.
So the concept, well, for people who have never seen this, is they had also other characters to work with.
Oh yeah, I also remember another. Sorry to disrupt you there, but I also remember another thing that was quite good, but I won't spoil it again. But there was another.
This
villain
wasn't
that
the season that she fell out the 5-story window and didn't break her back.
No, I think that was season 2.
Oh no, because one of the seasons I remember she got hit by a car. It didn't indent the suit at all.
Oh yeah, that was season 2. Yeah, that was season 2. Clearly season 2. Because
So
for most of season 3, she's not even in the suit, which is weird for a Batwoman TV show.
Well, to be fair, the knockoff, not to spoil the idea, but season, I will give it a high D. Very low C, because it's not as insufferable as the first two. But it should have been murdered after the first season or entirely rewritten.
I do agree with that. So we are both in the same boat on that. So that would make it like below season 2 slightly, because it's only us three and Cole's opinion is very different from ours. So I guess now this seems fair. So next thing, I guess we will cover Punisher now. So Punisher first season. Do you remember it very well, Gray? I remember you talked with
Oh
us
yeah,
about season 2, but do you remember very well season 1?
I do. I was a huge fan of Punisher season 1. Kind of coming off of Daredevil. I thought it was going to go in a certain direction, and I was really looking forward to it. So I was really, I was pleased with where it was going. Unfortunately, I don't like where it went in the next one, but I don't know. I thought it was decent. I'd either go like high C or low B. So I'm thinking others liked it less than me. I'll go with a B. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I remember liking it at the time. Revisiting it, I don't know that it would hold up as well now, but B is about where I'm remembering it. So that's where I would put it for now, but willing to watch it change.
Okay. So I will screen share again because there was something going on there. My tab went crazy. So you said B. Okay. So right now we will place it on B for now, but we will ask. Actually, who's second on the lineup? I think it was me. So I would place that A rank. So that would make it like IB because you place it on B. So coming next, I think is Cole. Where would you place Punisher first season?
Low C.
Low C. So that drops. And DC, I don't think you have seen the first season, did you? DC?
No. I've seen the second season, but I mean, if I was to put it, I'd put it like F or D tier, but I haven't seen it.
So since you haven't seen it, we will ask D-Lord right away. Where would you place it, D-Lord? Have you seen Punisher first season?
Yes,
D-Lord?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Where would you place it?
I'd probably place it about an A.
Oh, that's very interesting. So that goes low B because
I
yeah.
will say the early Netflix or whatever shows like Daredevil, Defenders, and all of them surprisingly were not as bad as the stuff later on. They actually put care into the work, and I mean, if you want to make like Luke Cage palatable, you know, even though Defenders and what is it, it wasn't that bad. But you're not exactly going to get the R-rated Frank Castle, so
Yeah, that was a really good thing.
because you gotta. No, I will say this, because if they try not to make a rated R Deadpool, the project's gonna fall apart.
That's true.
And because I don't know if you guys have seen the Punisher films.
I
All
did
of them
many
to,
years ago.
all of their weird qualities.
So what did you guys think of Warzone?
I can't remember, sadly. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember.
I believe
a lot
that was
about
the
it.
one where he punched his fist through the guy's head.
That was the one that I remembered. Yeah. You know, they're interesting. I think every portrayal of Punisher has been different. Like they all have like pluses and minuses, but I don't know that any of them have kind of gotten what I get out of the comic, but they're all interesting. You kind of get like a different version of them, like whether it's Iraq or Vietnam or whatever.
Well, I mean, if you replace his experience of him getting busted in Iraq versus that's just updating a period piece, because the concept is what Frank would be like, 70 years old, like if you didn't
I think something like that. Yeah.
update, right? I mean, you have to just change it, like a disgruntled war veteran, but I wouldn't go into what they did to him in the comics, but because they ruined him for a reason.
So next up, Punisher second season. Gray, where would you place that one?
Significantly lower. I'm thinking D. Like parts of this were an F, but it seemed like there were a couple of okay things, but I really did not like it. I think I'd go low D with it.
Okay. When it comes to me, I think if I remember correctly, I gave that season a 6. So that would leave it like low C. So I guess that goes on top of D for now. Um, Cole, what did you think of season 2?
Low.
You cut off right after low.
Low D.
Low D, so that goes back to low D. And my computer is effing me over right now. So low D. Um, DC, where would you place season 2?
F.
F, so that's right away E. Where would you place that season, D Lord?
I would still give it roughly the same. Low
Roughly
A.
the same. Low A.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So I guess that goes to C because that's right in between. Either low C or IB. That's interesting. Uh, yeah, that's really cool. So coming next, we have the Arrow TV show. Do you remember well enough the show, Gray?
Unfortunately, I've just cut a bit here and there. Now I'll have to sit out for Arrow, but I'd be interested in your opinions.
Okay, so starting with me, Arrow first season on the rewatch we did this summer when we started this season, I gave, I believe, 8.5. So that would be a I, and someone just dropped out. I think it's Cole. I think he had glitch or something. But that would leave it like low AIB. So let's place it here for now. I hope Cole will be back shortly. So because Cole is not here for now, we will ask DC. Season 1 of Arrow, where would you place it?
Probably high D.
ID. Okay, so ID, that would make it low C because mine was a low A. Have you seen Arrow, D Lord?
Yes.
Okay, the first season. Do you remember it well enough to scale it?
I thought it was basically a high B because I wasn't, and I still am not, the hugest Green Arrow fan.
Okay.
And I
That-
mean, if it gives you the rough idea, is this was one of the series they wanted to do. They could not, they wanted it to be a Batman series, but they couldn't get it. So they had to use the only other person they used, Oliver Queen. And it was an interesting experiment. So I give it that basically early, would I say, for me generically, until they kind of get too far into the weeds, I say it's basically a high B. There's moments that are absolutely low A's, but it's question. That's how I view the first until they start making him Batman light. So that gives
Well,
you an
this is a good take. So, unfortunately, Cole isn't around, but I can only bet you would place it around a B or a maybe low A because this is ranking is different than mine. We won't move it for now. We will leave it there, but let's hope Cole comes back so we have a fourth opinion. So season 2, I think this was Cole's favorite season and most people favorite season as well. I say most people because I'm not included on that. I prefer season 5 over 2. So season 2 for me was S. That was a fabulous season. I really liked it a lot. On this most recent watch, I actually liked it even more than before. Season 2 is just rock solid with Deathstroke as the main villain. That was just wonderful. Anyhow, DC, where would you place season 2?
Low C.
Uki, low C. So that would leave it low B for now. D-Lord, do you remember well enough season 2 to scale it?
I considered it mostly, as I said, most of the series is a B for me. It has
Okay.
some episodes because it's kind of that weird thing is you could start seeing they wanted to do the Batman Light scenario. I mean, it's totally fine when shows try to adapt and say, oh, you can have him take on Deathstroke or Ra's al Ghul. But he's not going to do it as well as Batman. Because if you want to talk about two different villains that can single-handedly beat Batman, that's Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul. So when you start throwing storylines in, I get questionable. That's why I said I usually rank it like a high B. It's just moments that was still mad to me, just because. But I was also coming off they dumpstered Birds of Prey.
That's weird because it didn't even come up the same year. But I can get that feeling because of the self delete squad that was introduced in season 2. Anyhow, I hope Cole will be back, but now that he's not there, we will leave it there for now, and we will move on to Arrow third season. And my computer is messing up again. Hell yeah, computer. Okay, so season 3, where are you? You are there. So for me, that was the first season I didn't like on every rewatch. Like the first time I was watching, I had not really critical opinion. I liked anything I was watching, but the moment I rewatched and thought about the season, I thought that was a bad season. So for me, that would be like probably a low D. Higher than both Batwoman though. Maybe not higher than 3, but the way we scaled it doesn't really reflect just me. So I can tell like Arrow third season was better than Batwoman peak. Anyhow, I will ask DC now. You have a very different opinion. I do remember you enjoying season 3 a lot.
Yeah.
Where would you place it now?
Low B.
Low B. So that means I see for now. D Lord, you said like on the average that was a B for you. Did this change with season 3, D Lord? D Lord.
I'm here. Yes. I will have to kind of drop out his list a little bit. But a friend decided to finally pop on. So I'll put it at, this is where I started to see to a low A, because it's kind of like, even though I wasn't satisfied with the story, but I liked it. So
Oh, low A. That's very interesting.
it was
So
starting to become its own, but I could accept some of the cheesy side stories.
okay. So
But
low
it
A.
still
That means this would come on top. Actually, that's like considered the best season for the panel for now. That's interesting.
I will say, because if the Arrow was the template for the Flash, I mean, it's eventually the Flash became the tone for all CW shows.
Arrow still had its tone. Season 5 was Ella Dark.
The thing to it is, right, they learned with Flash and others.
Yeah.
Like 3, you had a really decent storyline start to build. Plus, when you start having more villains and such, you could see him embrace it. Because even though it was like Batman's side road galleries, but they started still using better.
Yeah.
I mean, the season following, I will say, starts to disappoint me because
Season 4?
I'm sorry, when you start getting to the point he wants to take on Raish in the League of Assassins, which he
That was
does.
3. That was 3. 4
That's
was
like
Damien Dark.
three. Yeah,
4 was Damien Dark. Let's nuke the planet.
Damien Dark, wasn't he the guy who played without looking it up? Because I remember
Neil
one of-
McDonough. Neil
Who was-
McDonough.
he was the
That's name
villain
of
from the
actor.
12 Monkeys.
I haven't seen 12 Monkeys, so I don't know.
Oh, I'll put that. But I will. I might be back. I might not. But
Okay, man. Well, thank you very much for just dropping by like that. And you still have the link, so if we are still
Yes,
live and
I'll
you're
pop
ready, you
yes,
can
I'll
come
pop
back.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Take care, man.
See you.
Okay, let's hope Cole will come back. So now we will move on to season 4, your personal favorite. So I'm not even asking you. I know you will place it S rank. Am I right, DC?
Yeah. And season 6 is my favorite, not season 4.
Oh
but
yeah, you're right. I always remember you liking a lot season 4 though.
yeah.
So is it S or
Yeah,
A?
it's S tier.
S. So for me, that's like low E. So that would be low C. At least it's underneath the others, so I'm fine with it. I ate so much this season. This is like when I almost tapped out of the show. Even on my first watch, I was like, "What am I watching anymore?" It's not what I was watching prior. It's now a soap opera with like people crying every week about lies. Bruh, no, that was shit. I just don't understand how you can like it, DC. Like, you're so different from me. Ow! It's beyond understanding. um Anyhow, season 5, I think you liked it more than 4, and so I guess
Yeah.
that's S rank for you as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing we fully agree on, because I also placed it on S rank. That's hands down my favorite season, and for once I will say Cole is not around, so maybe S will rule. Because I know he didn't like it as much as us. Anyhow, season 5 is just a masterpiece. My most recent watch just made me love this season even more. I cannot wait to rewatch this season 5. The goat. So season 6. This is where Cole could be very interesting to be added on. So, this is your favorite season, I believe.
Yep.
So
and
that would be S as well. And for me, that's not my favorite. I'd say that season for me would be like a low B IC. So because of that, we will place it low B, just underneath season 1. We're still waiting for Cole, so maybe it will drop another tier if Cole shows up. We will see. Season 7. Where would you place it? This I can't remember your take.
I think it was low B.
Low B. Okay, and for me, that was also a low B. So this will remain low B. We will actually place it higher than 6. Actually, no, we will place it higher than 1. Even if I liked 1 more, we are more on board with this, the both of us. So all is missing is Cole. Season 8, the only season I will say that got better as it went older and as it aged. I really liked season 8 on my most recent watch. That season is just wow, amazing. I would place it low A. What about you, DC?
Yeah, I agree. Low A. I mean, it has some flaws, but I agree. Low A.
So low A. Um, and that shocked me, right? Because I always thought season one was superior than eight. But on a rewatch, like my biggest issue with eight was freaking Mia Smoke. I truly hate her. She's like an awful character that got on my nerve. Like the storyline of the future was shit, but the moment they went in the present, that went slightly better. I had a few issues here and there with the episodes, but the overall season is really solid. Like take away like any future stuff, and that season is just wow, it's a banger. Anyhow, coming next, Gray, are you still with us? We will pick something you have seen.
I am still here.
Okay, so you have seen Daredevil. So season one of Daredevil, where would you place it, Gray?
So I really liked it at the time. Season one of Daredevil, I got to be honest. I think at the time I would have given it an A. I kind of did a rewatch when we went through Daredevil. I don't know if it quite holds up. I don't know if it would be an A. It's definitely a B for me. I think I dropped it down a little bit in the rewatch, but yeah, I really like season one. I think it was strong. I think shows could be stronger now.
So that's low B or IB?
Yeah, I go kind of a high B, I think.
IB, okay. So now I will specify on that one. I don't think I have time for a full rewatch. I've still seen the season many times, at least 2 or 3 times. So I will say for me that based on these past experience, that would be IA low S. So that would actually bump it up there. But now it will drop because DC didn't like season one. So where would you place season one, DC?
F.
My. Oh my, it took a drop. Cole, save us. It's on the same tier as Batwoman. Oh no. Cole. We need Cole. Hi, Miss Sparkle. How are you today? Um, we need to be saved by Cole, and Cole is needed. So I can already place it to F season 2 for DC because I know it. So season 2, where would you place it, Gray?
I think it would be a little bit below. That's a good question. It didn't hold up as well as I wanted it to. Like, it's got a couple of good episodes and a couple of like really strong scenes, but I don't know. I think for me, it's like a C now. Upon the rewatch.
Okay. So it's a C for you. So that would make it mid D. And when it comes to me, that would be a low A. So that would make it C. Top of C. Thanks! Season 2 is now on Batwoman tier. For L's sake. Okay, so season 3, Gray. Where would you place it? I won't ask DC because I don't think DC has seen season 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I'd probably go C on that one as well. It's not the greatest season. Again, it's got a couple of good episodes and a couple of good I don't know, scenes in there, but yeah, it's I gotta say C at best. I really didn't enjoy it as much as it was built up in my memory when I rewatched it. So yeah, I think that's the nicest I can be to it, but I had some real issues with this season.
I agree, and I remember some of my issues. For me, that would be like IB, because I still remember giving a quite high score on the last time I've seen it last year. So we will place it. Oh, for L's sake, computer, stop doing stupid crap. Okay, so I guess this could sit there, even if it feels so wrong that Arrow's beneath it. I guess that's how it should be because of that balancing thing, and that's very weird because like season one is like considered the worst. Cole, save us! Stupid computer, stupid computer. Anyhow, um, coming next, we got the Flash. Okay, so the Flash. Have you seen the Flash TV show, Gray?
I have not.
Okay, so this will rely on both of us if Cole doesn't show up. So, DC, where would you place the Flash first season?
Hmm. Ooh. Probably a low A.
Low A. Okay, so low A for you. And you know what? I agree with you. Low A. So this is where it should sit. Um, yeah, the Flash season 2. Where would you place it?
A D. D tier. Low D.
Low D. Okay.
Yep.
So low D for you. For me, that would be an S, like low S, I A. So that would make it B. I'm a computer. I hate you, computer. I hate you so much, computer. Why are you making it so hard? So that would be B tier. So I guess we will place it there, right in the middle. Actually, higher. It just doesn't seem fair to be that like underneath season 7. Anyhow, coming next, The Flash third season. Where would you place it?
S tier.
S tier. Oh my, really? Yeah, we have different opinion for sure. So S for me that would be like a low CID. So that would sit in a B somewhere. But that's a sin if it's above 2, so we won't make too many sins. We already have like one big sin, Daredevil on par with Batwoman. That's like bruh. So yeah, I've seen Mandalorian, right, Gray?
Sorry, The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you guys go all the way up to season 3?
Yes, we did. I don't know if DC
I have not had the pleasure of having the Jack Black Lizzo season, so I'll have to abstain from the third one, but I was on board for the first 2. I'm down with this.
Okay. So DC, which season have you seen? Have you
I've-
seen anything, or you have seen Boba Fett? I can't remember.
I've seen season 1 of The Mandalorian. Few episodes into Boba Fett. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with season 1 of Mandalorian. Where would you place it, Gray?
Yeah, I actually really dug it. I kind of dug what they were doing, the whole like episodic Western thing, and then the whole child thing. I got to be honest, they had me hooked in season 1. I really liked what they were doing. It made me feel like this was a different direction from what we got with the movies. It felt like it was a course correction. So I'd either go low S or high A, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go high A on this. It's not perfect, but I thought I dug the direction that they were going on it, and then it fell off a little for me. But yeah, I think I'd go high A on it. I really liked what they were doing, and it seemed like there was a lot of potential. Then we got Book of Boba Fett.
Not yet. So DC, what were your thoughts on Mandalorian? I can't remember.
Oh, I hated it. And I would
But
put
you like the book of Boba Fett.
no. No, funny. Ironically, I didn't like either. I didn't like Mandalorian. I didn't like Boba Fett. So I didn't like Boba Fett either.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Mandalorian high E.
IE, that's very interesting. That's a bit harsh, but that's very interesting. So that would make it ID low C. So yeah. Now when it comes to me, that was S. So that would make it IB. IB, there we go. That feels so weird that it's higher than Arrow's second season, but hey,
No, that sounds right.
that's fine, I guess. Season 2. So this one, DC hasn't seen
Yeah.
it. Did
So
you?
there was a little bit of drop off for me. It wasn't as solid as season 1, but I liked it. Season 2 ends with the child going away, right? And there's kind of the battle on like the station or whatever, where there's a bunch of female characters that are all kicking ass. It felt a little forced to me, especially kind of the end of it, and then they bring in a special cameo also right at the end. I don't know. I really didn't like it as much. That being said, it was pretty entertaining. So yeah, I think I would go. I guess I'd go B on it. I like it more than all the other shows that I haven't seen on there, so I guess I'd go high B on it. But yeah, I'll expect it to probably not stay there. I would put it below season 1, but that's just me personally.
So now my take, I actually liked it a lot. I felt like season 3 really dropped the ball, but I thought season 2 was solid. I can't remember the exact grade. I think like I gave season 1 9.7 or 9.5, and I gave like Mandalorian something slightly worse, like either 9.5 or 9. So for me, that would be like low A. So I guess this would come on top of B tier like that because we are just 2, and if Cole was around, then we could have a different take. But anyhow, this is it for now for Mandalorian. So I asked Miss Sparkle if she has seen lots of them. Oh, okay, I see. So coming next, Mandalorian season 3. You said you didn't watch
Well,
it.
shouldn't Book of Boba Fett come in between them?
You're actually
it
right.
was released in between.
Where is
Um,
it? I try to find it
It's a
right
good
now.
question.
I don't see it. Maybe I haven't added it. Oh, it's there. I see it. I see it.
Oh wow, I completely skipped right over that.
Okay, so where would you place it, DC?
E.
E? Okay. Where would you place it, Gray?
That's I think I'd have to go F with it. Book of Boba Fett was just horrible fan service, and then half of it was actually like season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. I really did not like it. I didn't like the kind of fake choices they gave the characters. I don't know. There was just so much potential, and then instead they make it just all fan service, where it's a Boba Fett riding a Rancor. Like, we don't need that. Like, nobody needs that. It just didn't have to happen. There could have been a cool thing, like even the first episode, where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, instead of being like somebody who takes charge, Boba Fett is asking the people like, well, what should I do as the leader? I don't know. I just don't feel like they truly captured Boba Fett, and any good thing that they had going with it was outdone by how much negative there really was in this. I can't give it anything but an F. I really disliked this strongly. And it sucks because I really liked the first 2 seasons, and had they kind of build it as like, hey, this is season 2.5. I don't know. Maybe it would have affected me a little bit differently, but yeah, I think they killed Boba Fett in a very horrible way, and then metaphorically, no spoilers. And then yeah, just I really don't like the changes that they made with the Mandalorian as well. But I don't know. There's kind of interesting scenes, but yeah, just so much fan service. I'm not a fan.
That's very interesting. So I will sound crazy, but for me, that would be like a low CID. It's still like not really good for me. Low CID. It's really bad. So the average would be ID, and it just feels wrong to place it above Daredevil first season. So we will place it underneath it. And we need Cole. We need Cole. Shape up.
Damn. The Red Bar. I have no idea why you'd watch us. We're not comedy, and you know, we're not that entertaining. But yeah, Red Bar is entertaining.
Oh my, Sparkle! I like your take. I watched one episode and I'm like, oh my, I don't want to see it. Well, I cannot blame you. That wasn't a great show at all. Like,
I mean, it was better than Daredevil. Let's be honest.
come on, bro. Come on. You liked Arrow worst season so much. Hell, you like Gotham Knight, bro. Oh my. Okay, coming next. I guess we will add more Flash to the mix. Flash season 4. You like that one, did
Yep.
you?
Yep, S tier for me.
Oh my. This is outrage, bro. What the It's outrage.
Like I would like from
Oh,
season
no.
3, 4, and 6 of the Flash, they're all gonna be S tier.
Oh my.
yeah. So
So I gotta drop it. So for me, that would be like IC low B, but I lean more toward IC, so that would make it low B on average. And there's no way it's going any higher than these Arrow seasons. No, no, no. It doesn't belong higher than these Arrow seasons. The Flash season 5. S rank, right, for you?
it's high A.
Oh, IA. That's reassuring. That season was dog shit.
Yep.
So IA for you, and for me that would be
F.
no, not actually. That was like low E. F I keep it like for some really abomination, like worst thing ever. But yeah, for me that would be like low E. So that means on average that's a C, and it goes lower than this. It sounds fitting. It looks fitting. Actually, I think I would swap these two because I think maybe the Flash 5th season is slightly better than Arrow 4th season, but that's not much being said. Both seasons are dog shit. Season 6 for you is S rank because I remember this one is your favorite, I think.
Yep, it's my favorite, and yes, it's S tier.
So when it comes to me, that was average. So that means IC/low B. So on average, that would make it a low B. And this one actually deserves some credit. Higher than Arrow 6th season. It deserves it. But that's the further it can go. Okay, so coming next, you have seen Andor, did you, Gray?
Yeah, I saw Andor. I really liked Andor. I gotta be honest. I thought it was going in one direction, and I was really happy with that direction. And then it kind of did a immediate like right turn, like he no longer is concerned with like finding his sister. I really liked what we got. I thought it was going to be different, and I was kind of excited for that direction. So I don't know, but it is probably the most entertaining thing that I've seen come from Star Wars in a long time. I really like the whole tone that they had with the entire kind of desolate planet, the mining planet, if you will. I'm a big fan of it. I am looking forward to a future season. I really did kind of like the stuff with the prison planet as well. Um, the more I think about it, kind of the higher its ranking in my mind. Yeah, I think I'd go A tier for it. It wasn't perfect, but there's a lot that it did well. So yeah, I think I'd go A tier.
So when it comes to me, I will sound shocking a bit. I thought that was average at best. So for me, that would be um, I C low B. So on average, that would sit higher than these, and I'd say ear sounds fitting. Well, I will swap these two. This looks fitting. But I thought the pacing was horrendous. I liked lots of the message and like the back half, like the few last episodes were really amazing. I really liked these, but I thought the build up toward it wasn't as solid as the ending of it. Um, but yeah, the prison part was wonderful. That was one of the best part of the entire show. Like I really liked it so much. Um, but that's the only thing I can really praise. Anyhow, it's not bad. I just think it's average. Um, Coming next, and I think I remember hearing your thought about Obi-Wan and the chase scene, BC.
Yep.
Where would you place Obi-Wan?
High A.
Oh my. Okay.
I think it's probably a good thing we don't have Cole here because that way and if he heard what I've been saying, he would have probably lost his mind. So I think Cole had a good idea in leaving.
Grace, save us, please. What did you think of Obi-Wan?
Well, there are a lot of thoughts. I'm not a fan of it. I think it really kind of ruined a lot of the characters for me, and then it set up a bunch of weird, inconsistent like plot holes where the characters would have some sort of memory of this. But there's like kind of a couple of cool scenes. Like I got to admit, the lighting in the final battle between Anakin and Vader, or not Anakin, Obi-Wan and Vader again. It was cool, but is it worth this entire series? To me, no. It just there's so many bad things, like the whole chase of Leia by the, I guess you would just call them Imperials.
The
It was just
incompetent, you mean?
yeah, and then the whole like he accidentally says the one name, but he meant her mother. He just I don't know, like it didn't come off as good acting. It didn't come off as like believable. Even the thing with like the fake Jedi who's just doing these tricks. I don't know. All of it just seemed a little forced to me. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of anything that happened in this. I think I would have been much happier without this being a thing at all. I think it just adds so many inconsistencies to everything, and then just it kind of ruins characters for me. So about the highest I could give it's like a high D.
Oh, that's generous. ID. So
That's as nice as I can be too.
ID, that would make it like IC. But then here I am giving this a low E. Slightly better than Batwoman, because if I remember correctly, Batwoman first season I gave like 3.5, and Obi-Wan I gave 4.5. So that would make it a low D. And there's no way it's going above Batwoman season 3. It's an insult to Batwoman season 3. But yeah, I think this sounds fair. And I can only bet if Cole was around, that would drop to E. Maybe F. To think of it, I see Cole placing this F. Anyhow, he's not there. Sadly, I don't know what happened. Internet shut down. I don't know. Anyhow, next up will be the Flash 7th season. I remember hearing about you disliking it. Am I right on that, BC?
I mean, I don't hate nearly as much as say season 2, but it's definitely disappointing, and I would put it low C.
Low C for you. And for me, that would be ID. So it will go ID. Just like that. That feels fair. Um, it feels just so wrong to see Daredevil side by side with freaking The Flash season 7. It's like, are you kidding me, man? This is outrage. I'm telling you. Season 8. What did you think of season 8?
I thought it was better than season, but still has flaws. High C.
Oh, really? What? Okay, that's interesting. Because we are very similar on that. For me, that would be IC low B. So I guess it will stay on IC for season 8. But Daredevil, you're better than this. There we go. Season 9. Oh my! I think we will both agree on that one, right? That was dog shit.
Yeah.
Okay, to be honest, I think I would place it E, but I'm sure if I rewatch this shit, it will get only worse. So I think F is very fitting. What do you think?
I was gonna say low D.
Oh, really?
It's
Oh
still
my. Okay. Okay,
it's
we
still at
placed
least
it
a
here.
bad category. At least it's not like Daredevil. Where it's like, what is this?
Okay, so I guess we'll place it IE. But yeah, the Flash last season was so bad. I don't know what they were thinking. Okay. Ashoka, I don't think you have seen that DC.
No, I haven't.
So, Ray, what did you think of Ashoka?
So I really think that like half of it didn't need to be, and then the other half was just okay. It introduced elements that could have been like just amazing. I was really bored in the first half of it, and then we get the weird space whales thing. But once we get to the new planet, like that seems really cool. Like this is kind of what I go to Star Wars for. Like I want to see a new world. I want to be kind of immersed in it, and I feel like we finally got that, and that was really kind of cool. And then yeah, they show Ezra, and he's using Force in a different way than we've seen before. He's just using it kind of defensively. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. It seems like that could be really cool. It's introducing this character who's kind of become what Luke was supposed to become, but was kind of robbed of in the sequel flicks. That could be really interesting to see. And then immediately, like the next episode, they undo all of that, just give him a saber, and he does exactly the same thing as everybody else. I don't know. I've got such mixed feelings about this. Like, there's parts of it that I want to see, but those are the parts that aren't going to be in the future. I really would have liked to see like where they're going to take that Ray Stevenson character. I'm assuming they're just going to write him out now that unfortunately the actor has passed. Yeah, I'm just not super excited to see it again. But the last half of the season kind of got me excited to watch the next episode. But I think I would prefer not watching it episode by episode for the next season. I'd rather just get a dump of it at one time because I think it gives me some hope that like, oh, this could do something, and then it just doesn't. I don't think it'll pay off on anything cool. They really built up Thrawn, and I have no idea who he is. I didn't watch the cartoons, so it's like, okay, so there's a blue dude. I don't know like what I'm supposed to fear about him, but oh no, he's back. So I don't know what that means. I just think there's so much more that they could have set up with this that I don't feel like they really followed through with. So for me, I think the best I could give it again would be like a D.
Very interesting. For me, that would be IC. So this means low C. There we go. Or ID. You know what? ID deserves it. It was disappointing. I feel like it had potential. They just didn't live up to the potential they had.
Same. And also like Ahsoka's fights, they seemed a little stiff and her acting seems stiff. I guess that's supposed to be the character, but I don't know. I had more hope for it. I thought there was some potential for it, and I don't feel like they paid off that well.
I agree. I fully agree. So, Cole, where are you? Anyhow, Smallville season 1. I'm the only one on the panel that remember it because I know Gray, you have seen it, but you probably don't remember it. Do
Oh,
you
I've seen
remember
it.
it?
I remember. It has
Okay.
indelibly marked my soul, sir.
Oh, really? Okay, where would you place it then?
Well, I am looking back at it with nostalgia glasses.
Okay.
Um, I remember it being very good and affecting me, but I do wonder how it would hold up like after we now have like a whole MCU and everything. Like, is this going to feel like an average CW show?
No,
Um,
not season one.
nostalgically, I liked it a lot better. Even if certain cast members became like cult members or interesting things. I don't know. It just there was potential. I liked the trail that it was laying down. And it's like, okay, so we're not going to see him in like the suit or whatever, but this could be cool. So I don't know. I think I'd go like A tier with it.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
struggling to find something that I'd really knock it for. Like I know what it was trying to be, and it feels like it hit that really good. I feel like a lot of the shows that have come later than that tried to live up to this, and I don't feel like they did, as far as like CW versions. But yeah, I think it did have kind of a drop off for me.
Okay, that's interesting. So my take, I had time to rewatch Smallville for the podcast, so I have fresh ideas on most season. There's like two season I didn't have time to rewatch. That was like season 7 and 8. But anyhow, season one on a refresher, I thought it did its job, but it wasn't that great. And this is interesting because I also have nostalgia, but for different season. Because I was very young when the show came out, and I wasn't bilingual, and French stuff we always get them later. So like on top of that, when we had these, that was most likely on cable TV, and I got cable TV when I was older. So I really started to watch the show when it arrived like season 5, season 6. So my nostalgia is more like with these seasons, and maybe that's why I also like these seasons more than the first two seasons. But on this most recent watch, this first season, as I said, did its job. It's just not as good. It has a lot of fillers, and like more modern CW shows, they still have a few fillers here and there, except for Arrow. Like Arrow didn't add fillers. Well, actually, season 4 had a bunch of fillers. That's why I hated that season. But the rest of the show, Arrow really mattered. Flash had fillers, and Flash feels like overall as a TV show is a worst version of Smallville. But I can bet DC says otherwise. I'm sure if DC would see Smallville, it would most likely like more the Flash, and that's very understandable. Anyhow, I think for me, season 1 of Smallville was a D, ID, like actually mid D. So that would leave it like low B. And I know if Cole was around, he would defend to the teeth that first season. Um, he would probably place it at like somewhere in B. So that would maybe be like top B or so. Anyhow, I think Smallville as a TV show got better as the years went on. Season 4 apart, season 4 is just atrocious. It's an abomination. It's like really bad, really, really bad. It has like greatness to it, but it has so much bad in it. You're like, bro, I don't want to watch it anymore. Anyhow, season 2 of Smallville, Gray. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. I think that like picks up like right where season 1 left off, and I think he finds out his true origin or whatever.
Yeah.
I ended up liking it. Yeah, I think I'd put it about the same as I did with the first one. Again, I'm looking at it through nostalgia glasses. It's been forever since I've seen it. I remember it being about A tier. There is a drop off coming soon, but yeah,
Oh, that's
I think I'd go
interesting.
somewhere around there.
That's interesting. So I thought that season was far better than the first season. A lot better. It still had like these filler moments, but it had that team throughout the season that was very enjoyable. The team of like origins, what traded you, and that kind of stuff. And I really like that. I'd say for me that season is a low B. So because of that, it will be like mid B. Um, Above, actually no, underneath Arrow, um, seventh season. I think that sounds fair. And I know if Cole was around, that maybe it would go higher because Cole shared that opinion as me with that season. He also liked it more than one. Now, season 3, you said there's a drop off. That's surprising. Where would you place it?
Isn't that the one where they put like Lex Luthor like on a desert island for a while or
Yeah,
something?
for like 2 or 3 episodes, it started off
I
like that.
remember kind of not liking that as much. So I think I'd go like B or something. Like it gets a much bigger drop off later. I'm trying to remember like what happens each season, but yeah, I know there was a big enough drop off for me to not watch the last part of the series.
Yeah. So when it came to me and Cole, we agreed on that. Season 3 was really great. It was really good. It was really strong. And the filler issue we had with season 1 and 2 is now gone. Most of the episode mattered. Like there was a theme of mental illness, and that was wonderful. It was well written. It was really smart. It was really good. So for me, that would be an A. So because of that, I guess that stays on top of B. Um, that for me, that was a solid A. I really like season 3. Rewatching this season surprised me because I was like, oh, it will be on par with 1 and 2, but no, it was just far better. And I cannot wait to rewatch because I plan on making more videos related to that in the future when I get the time. Anyhow, season 3, I praise it a lot. And then came season 4. Season 4. I don't know, like CW is doomed. Like every season 4 is like terrible. Except for Black Lightning, it wasn't that bad. But anyhow, um, Gray, where would you place season 4?
I think this kind of started the drop off for me. Wasn't this like where he's finishing up school? And I think,
Yeah, that's his senior year, basically.
yeah, I didn't like it as much. I'm like struggling to remember anything that happened during that actual like.
Witch, magic, MacGuffin.
Oh, witch magic. Yeah,
Now,
I
do
think
you
I'd go more
remember?
like a bit of it. I think I'd go more like a C on this one. It still didn't have the major drop off, but it doesn't seem like it's where 1 and 2 were for me. So yeah, I'd go like C.
For me, that would be like a IE low D. So I guess that will sit on D. And I'd say it's better than Obi-Wan because it had really great episode in it. That's the sad part of season 4. Like season 4 has some of my favorite episodes in the entire show, but the overall season is just so godly atrocious. You don't want to get like into it at all. You're like, bruh, I want to run away from you. You're like the Plague. But then you have these moments where we got freaking Bart, Allen, Impulse, whatever. That like these episodes, bro. What happened? Like they had like the A team making the good episode, and we had like the B team making all the shit episodes that you don't want to ever rewatch. There were like 2 teams working on the show. Okay, season 5. I'm curious to hear your take about that one. Is it the last season you have seen, or that was 6? Like Brainiac was season 5.
I was just trying to read like a quick synopsis of it. I think this is where I fell off. I think this was the final season. I do
Yes.
remember him being in college, and I do remember him like being told like, "Hey, LexCorp is doing this shady stuff," and he starts getting fed information. I am really struggling to like remember anything else going on in this. I
Like
remember he starts dating what's her name,
Lana,
but
yeah.
Lana, but yeah, I'm kind of struggling to remember anything else from this season. I think based on that, this would be the lowest one for me. I think this is where it like really fell off, and where I quit kind of caring. But yeah, I think I'd probably go like either a low C or high D, but somewhere around there.
Okay, so low C. So I will defend to the T that season. That season is as good as three. I really liked it. It had the theme of like grief, uh, and it had the theme of like responsibility, consequence of what you're doing, and that was really wonderful. That was a true Superman story where he felt the weight of losing someone, and that was really the true origin of Superman there. And I really like that season. It's one of my favorite seasons, outside of like just nostalgia glasses, because that was probably the first season I really had seen like not that long after it aired. I probably had seen that season a year after it aired because it was translated and we had cable TV. Anyhow, season five, Brainiac is also there. And season five was the first season. Well, actually, season four was. Season four was the first season they tried to have like a ongoing storyline throughout the entire season. Season five kept that trend, but it added more to it and it made it better. It turned like into the formula we had with other CW shows like Arrow, The Flash, and the others. Um, so season five is a solid A for me. That was on par with season three. So I guess that will like go on top of B, or maybe mid B. Actually, mid B, that sounds fair. So I will be right back shortly, so you guys can talk and reminisce about shitty shows we covered. That won't take too long.
Good times. So many shows. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Smallville for me, maybe it was like the first one of these kind of CW superhero shows, but it just feels like it's a little bit different than the other ones. I don't know. I had a hard time getting into like Flash or the Arrow, or just Arrow. Uh, I don't know, but maybe it was just because of the time that it was a little bit easier to kind of hop on board with that. I don't know if it would have had the same impact today after like the whole MCU thing. Uh, I don't know, but that being said, it still feels like it's like a step above some of those Marvel shows that we're getting today.
Yep,
I don't know.
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. So you watched like Flash, Smallville, and or parts of Flash, Arrow, Smallville. Where do you think they kind of stack up versus each other? Am I giving like Flash and Arrow a hard time, or do they kind of
I
stack up?
mean, I didn't see Smallville, but I've seen the entirety of Flash and Arrow. I would have said this: Arrow starts off terrible, but it slowly becomes a better show. The Flash starts off well before it slowly transforms into a worse show. Yeah, one show Multi did not mention that I actually do like a lot more than The Flash as of right now because of the later seasons is The Walking Dead. Probably because we don't cover The Walking Dead unless we're planning to cover it in season 4, which that's great. And yeah,
I'll be down. There was some drop off in that one too.
like
I don't know. There were lulls, if you
Yep.
will, but I mean, it is a comic book one. It does seem like it might fit. But
You're actually right. So you know what, DC? I know you like it, and I will say maybe we could cover it in season 4 because just like what Dre said, it's comic book and RedBlue stands for comics.
Yep.
So I will talk with Cole, and maybe that will be like something we will start covering. Maybe like January or February. I don't know exactly when, but
all right. Yeah, I'm fine with
that's a
Yeah.
future plan. And
Yeah.
I think that will be interesting because I think you have seen most of it, did you?
Yeah, I'm actually on the 10th season. I've kind of quit for a bit, but it's not because it was bad, but I haven't had the time. But yeah, I've started to get back into it. But yeah, I was always wondering if we were ever going to cover The Walking Dead because I know you haven't seen it, and I thought show for the podcast. Like if for some reason we ran out on the superhero shows, but I'm like we can cover the
Yeah.
Walking Dead because even though it's not your typical comic book show,
It's still one.
it's still one. Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, like I know we will start covering MCU eventually, so we will talk about that behind the scene and stuff. But
All
I
right.
did consider it because I know you like that show, and I'm like, sometimes he doesn't know what to add as movies or topics, so that could be your topic, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will talk about it behind the scene. That's a future thing we will most likely cover. So have you seen that, Dre? Walking Dead. Up to what
Most of
point?
it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know I'm at least 2 or 3 seasons behind, but it might be like 4. I
Mm,
want to say I got up to 6, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
Well,
But I was a fan of the comics. I really liked it, and then kind of some of the departures took me out of it a little bit,
Mm.
but still, I enjoy a lot of what they did.
so
I've got feel.
yeah, I think you're around like season 7 or season 8, somewhere around there. But yeah, we'll find out later on. But yeah.
yeah. Okay. So you dropped off by season 5, or have you seen any of season 6? So that like one of the big plot that you may remember because everyone remembered that season for that is like Lex and Lana relationship into turning into a forced
Oh.
wedding, and that was terrible.
I do remember that. And then I think it would have been that same season. Isn't there like the introduction of like Bizarro Superman or something? Or is that
Bizarro is
next
by
season?
the very end of 6, so maybe you even have like started 7 and you don't remember because Bizarro
I
was a thing
think
in 7.
so. I think this was the last one that I kind of dropped off, and then I caught like here and there on 7. I wasn't a big fan of it. Like I did forget about that whole wedding thing.
That was terrible.
Now that you mention it,
That was like one of
yeah.
the worst stuff. But that's funny because on the most recent watch, I expected to truly hate that season, but the season overall was enjoyable. But anyhow, I will let
Really?
you talk. Yeah,
I was gonna go D. I was gonna go E, but if you're saying the whole thing overall was enjoyable,
yeah,
maybe I'm just remembering the couple of
there were bad
spots
moments.
on it that I really didn't like. I don't know. I think I'd go D then. I'll give them passing since I don't remember it precisely. I don't want to completely tank their
Yeah,
grade, but
Cole would.
I do remember certain
'Cause
aspects that were not good.
Cole would tank it for sure because he hated that season. I'm the only season. I'm the only defender of season 6. But anyhow, so you would place it like low D, I-E. I would place it like low B. So that makes it like top D. But it just feels wrong to place that above Daredevil, so we won't. It's a sin to place it above Daredevil. Now it feels a bit better. Even if Daredevil is stuck with Batwoman, it feels a bit better because it's a bit further away. Anyhow, so season 7 is I can only assume you haven't seen that one to the end.
I
Based on
don't think
what
I
you told me.
have. Yeah, I think that's about where I dropped off completely.
So the funny part is when we talked about it, I had Cole and I like we were defenders of that season because that season is so hated by like most people, and it's not that awful, but it's not great. Like it's no masterpiece. I thought that was average at best. And what makes me sad, I didn't have time to fully rewatch it, so maybe it could have gotten worse, maybe better. I don't know, but anyhow, season 7, I really liked a lot of it. Like a lots of parts of it were really cool. They tried to give some kind of closure to the show without really ending the show there, and I really enjoyed that aspect. But the story was a bit messy. It could have flowed better and could have been improved on for sure, but I liked what they tried to do so much. And Cole as well. Cole was like, before I talked, he was like, "Will I be the only one to defend it?" And I was like, "No, you're not alone, Cole. I will also defend that season." Um, so for me, that was average at best. So that would be like low B, I C. So I would place this above the Flash 8th season. Um, so yeah, Daredevil, you deserve to be on top. Okay, so season 8 is another season. I will be the only defender alive. Cole also dislikes season 8. Um, and we had at that time we had Poldus. Shout out to Poldus. We had him as a guest for 2 weeks. He covered with us actually 3 weeks, I believe. 3 weeks in a row, we were able to have him on the show. I hope eventually our path will cross again. I always keep contact with him on Twitter and stuff, but he doesn't watch as many things as us, and he is only different time zones, sadly. But anyhow, we had Paulus on. Yeah, tiring it up. I see. Yeah, exactly. This is what we do. But yeah, Paulus also didn't like season 8, so I was the only defender on the panel. I felt lonely. I felt like DC most of the time. So DC, I get your feeling, bro.
Yeah, I'm always alone, like on everything.
But that's fine. This is why we like having you on, because we are not an echo chamber. Anyhow, I think season 8 would be like mid B for me. So it would be like above Punisher, but underneath season 5 because it's not as good as season 5. And sadly, that's one of these seasons where I didn't have time to rewatch to the end. So maybe that would get slightly better or worse. But based on what I remember, that season was enjoyable. I really liked the character arc of the characters in it. Season 9 is the favorite season of most of the community, and that includes me. That was my favorite season of the show. And this one deserves, because there's nobody else that has seen it, this one deserves S rank. It's not as good as Arrow 5th season, but it's definitely a strong season. Finally, season 10. Oh, that's sad because that one is another one I didn't have time to watch to the end. I had time to watch half of it, and I really liked it. And based on what I remember, that's one of my favorite seasons in the show. So I think I will give that one like a 9 or 8. I can't remember what I gave, but 8 or 9. So it would scale like maybe higher than season 8. Yeah, that feels right. Um Now, coming next. Preacher. You had seen a few of the episode Gray. So that's the next one. Oh, D-Lord is back. There he is. D-Lord. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you again. You're amazing, bro. So we did a lot of the tiers where you were away. So we'll show you the tiers, what's going on right now. So among the one we placed since you left, is there anything you'd like to move around? Have you seen any of the Flash seasons? D-Lord? D-Lord! Is that an ARC PFP? What is PFP? ARC PFP?
Oh, see, Vincent, if you know this one, you will know.
I don't know. But anyhow, D-Lord, have you seen the Flash TV show, any of the seasons?
Yes, I have.
So we'll start off by saying season 1. Where would you place it?
A
right now, we placed it on A because we were only 2 on voting on it. So where would you place it?
I'd probably put it low A.
Low A? Okay, so it stays there. Season 2, we placed it mid B. Would you move it around?
I would still keep those, at least the early Flash.
Yeah.
High B's, low A's.
High B's, low A.
certain points because it had the good Arrowverse boost, so to speak.
This includes season 3.
I have to remember. Flash.
That was Savitar, the god of speed. That
I
was
say
like emo
eventually.
Barry, pizza face Barry.
Well, to be fair though, yeah, that's why I say through at least till it started becoming campy, but I can't remember exactly when. So at least the first 3 seasons were roughly good.
Okay. So I guess this will go higher than Punisher. This feels right. So season 4, where would you place it? We placed it low B, but only because DC is a huge fan of it, and I'm a decent defender of it as well. I don't think it's an awful season, but it's not great. So where would you place it? For us, it's low B right now.
I would say, what is it, after 4?
That's the
probably-
thing here. Yeah, after 4, it dropped.
Kind of it's where you start getting into the weird one. Because Savitar being the black speeder, even though I start saying that's when Flash starts sliding. Flash starts sliding down right around there.
Yeah.
Because it goes from I would put the first season, it starts it off at a low A, then it starts living in the B territory. Then that's when it starts just
To fall off.
we're talking not just a fall off, it just becomes there's falling off and then there's a cliff. I mean, let's be clear.
Where would you place it? To be honest, bro, that's the point. Like,
I'll be
we
honest,
want
it starts getting into C territory there.
Okay, so season 4 C territory for you?
Yeah, it starts, yes. No,
Okay.
because remember, both him and the person that played Supergirl came from Glee. And I want to know how you rank the episode that was the singing episode.
Oh my, this one was atrocious, bro. I won't forget it existed. And a
Yeah.
fun fact, I think DC liked it.
You liked it?
I thought it was terrifying, and it's the most disturbing episode of the Arrowverse. So, is that a excuse?
Look,
I guess it is, bro. You have your right to your opinion.
look,
bro.
you're fine, but knowing they both come from Glee, it's a little less painful.
So
Dang.
I dropped down one note, season 4 and 6. Season 5. Do you remember that one? With Nora. Like how stupid that season was.
After
That
4.
was like the definition of stupid plot holes, stupid writing, stupid
4 is
time
when
travel.
you start seeing the plot holes.
This talk
4
of Glee is painful.
yeah.
So season 5 was really terrible. Do you think it deserves to be on C or it deserves to be lower?
That's when it starts settling into C for me. Because
Okay.
eventually around 4th season is when you start seeing the CW formula come into effect.
Yeah.
Because and then all shows started. Because if you call peak was Smallville, that wasn't quite.
Oh,
Look.
so you have seen Smallville. I do disagree with that, but you have seen Smallville. That's interesting.
Birds of Prey and Smallville were peak for me.
Birds of Prey. Oh, the TV show, right? There was a TV show. Oh, we actually haven't covered it because it lasted.
You
for a
haven't
season.
covered it.
No,
Birds
we
of-
didn't.
Birds of Prey. You had Smallville was the big test period of young Superman that was so successful. Chloe became an actual character in the comics, like Harley Quinn did because of the animated TV show. And then you had Birds of Prey, which they gave 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh, really? 3 or 4? I thought that was only one season.
I forget how short it was, but it was really short. Well, you
One
got to think of
season.
it. You got to think of like runtime, right? Velma was guaranteed 2 seasons, not because it's
Hell yeah.
successful,
No,
because of
just
the
for that
anime,
reason.
the runtime, which the idea is Birds of Prey wasn't bad, but they didn't let it do its full. It's kind of like Gotham. They gave it only 4 seasons. So that's how I view it. And
Unfortunately, I think Multi might have left us, but I love your new icon, man. Your
I
new
do have
avatar.
this. You know what, though? I see if Vincent knows what this avatar is. It doesn't do it justice.
So
I'm assuming it's a thinker of some sorts, but
Uh-huh.
that it looks a little different.
It got
Uh,
sent. He got sent. So, fun fact about this: he got sent this when he was doing a Pacific series. It's Arch in the thinking position, being the thinker, sitting on a block of butter, sitting on a waffle.
anyhow, I crashed. So at least we are back.
Yes.
hell yeah.
I will screen share again.
And to answer Harry Guy's sketch's question, why the hell is Daredevil in the C and D tier? Because it's compromised, sir. Apparently, we all can't agree on where it
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So Daredevil you dislike because
DC disliked it. We all liked it except for DC. So what did you think of it, D-Lord? You weren't around when we talked about it, but
I
we
said
can
a
move
lot.
it around because you're there.
I said because a lot of Daredevil, the ones they did, like Punisher, wasn't sufferable. When they did like the Defenders series, they did that. Those were usually B's to A's, even at their worst, because they at least paid attention to the source material. Now, we are not going to discuss Gray's favorite moment with Daredevil being reimagined as She-Hulk's lover.
Hey, yellow suit, man. It is amazing.
Bro. Anyhow, where would you place season 1 of Daredevil? D-Lord?
I'll put that definitely in A.
Hey, so to be at average, it will actually sit on top of B. There
Now,
we go.
the only other you
Uh,
have like lower B, you have Andor.
Lower B?
Andor deserves A though.
Okay,
in my
so
opinion.
we place it top B. Because
Well,
we were
here's
only talking about Andor. That's the
here's
thing.
the thing about Andor. Andor was the first Disney Wars that most people liked. They never
Yeah.
said anything about it. It had the Rogue One effect. It wasn't that bad, and it was a different take,
Yeah.
basically. Now, with Ahsoka being D, you're being very generous.
Oh, fuck. Wait. My computer is messing up right now. I hate my computer sometimes. So yeah, okay.
Obi-Wan, I would at least give it a C.
Oh, that's generous.
Only because of the fact that it wasn't totally deconstructing, and plus you have to. Some episodes are worse, and if you don't on at least the fan theory duel, where he had just 7 years met Obi-Wan again.
Okay.
If you don't get the joke, you don't get the joke, right?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay. So the original universe said, since the end of the Clone Wars, Darth Vader hasn't re-seen his old mentor. Then after, because of the end of Obi-Wan, the duel at the end, because it is Hayden Christensen and the person, because they have really good. It's like, yes, it's only been 10 years, 7 or 8 years since I have seen you.
So, computer! I ate you, computer.
And your Book of Boba Fett needs to at least be a low C. Ahsoka should be down at the very bottom.
Both of them should be lower. It's all compromise, sir.
Why is it
But
compromised?
Well, now you.
well,
you
you
have
have your chance to
Mandalorian,
weigh in and
it's-
lower them all. So
it-
please
but
do.
But you
You know,
have
if you go F on
Mandalorian
both of
in
them,
B.
It's.
You actually have Mandalorian in B. That was C tier at best.
hey man, season
It's
1
there.
was decent. I will defend season 1, but it's a pretty steep drop off. But
Yeah, plus,
season
What, is
3,
that-
like there
is
is
that-
no.
yeah,
no,
plus,
no.
plus,
she
I-
gets come. Sorry, I'll say this. There's a point. It becomes not the Mandalorian show anymore. It becomes Boss Mandalorian chick takes over the show, and it's first
What?
season.
It
I'll
becomes the
give
Boca
is
Kana show.
That season 3 is talking about. Season 2 is not like
Yeah.
that.
But hey,
He be-
Lizzo, I mean, she can really flute the flute.
okay. The whole thing, right, is that's the character from Rebels who they put into the show. And you forget that it gets very retarded because he becomes like, depending on the lore you follow of it, is Mandalorians are not supposed to take their helmets off, or they're supposed to be exiled if they do. And that was a rule established because of Rebels. And of course, I think they brought back the one, and she's like, oh, she's going to take over the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And there's the whole thing of love or hate. CGI Luke kind of brings it up. So that's the end. You get there, and it does. Dark Troopers, which are not specifically canon, got added later on. Dark Troopers only came around because of the video game. And then they got adapted into the lore. But
By the way, where would you place Daredevil second and third season? Do you think they sit at the right place?
I think the whole
Yeah.
series sits roughly at a
Okay.
B, high B, low A.
Okay.
A, that's.
So I guess now we move on to Mandalorian third season. And that season, it's only us two that have seen it. So where would you place it, D-Lord?
Or do you honestly dignify it?
To be
I would
honest, to be
D.
Seems like
honest,
a brave season.
I gotta say a D because
D?
what? Investigating the crime. I'm sorry, people who have not seen it. I'd spare you the details. The fact alone, the show was pretty much compromised because the spoilers, like everyone wanted out of it, and it became production hell. So you gotta find G.
it crashed at She. Well, this is many people
We might have
talking, my
lost
friend.
Tiamat, but I
Okay.
agree with you, Harry Guy sketches. I think season 1 I will defend. Season 2, it was a bit of a drop off for me. Still okay, and then yeah, after Book of Boba Fett, it's a cliff.
So
I don't know.
Now for me, Mendel season 3 is not as bad as what people say. I don't think it's as good as 1 and 2, but that's just me.
I know you keep bringing up Lizzo, so I mean it does have
Yeah,
that.
you place it on D, and I would place it low B. So that leaves it to C. But there's no way it's going any higher than Daredevil second season. There we go. Actually, yeah, that seems fair. Now, coming next. Have you seen the Gotham Knight TV show Great.
I can't say that I have. I think I caught like one or two and decided it wasn't for me. So I don't think I can truly rate it.
Good choice, my friend. Good choice.
You made a bad choice, Grace. You'll enjoy the show, trust me.
No. So basically, it was becoming a roasting session for Cole and I. We lost our sanity over this show. Like, it never got any better. Well, some episode went slightly better than the average episode, but the overall show is terrible. So I will let you start on that one, DC. I know, I think based on what you have said, what we talked about, you most likely gave it a S rank or something.
Yeah, I give it an S.
Okay, so for you, that's an S. And where is it? It's here. For me, that was a
And then, as a refresher, DC, you also think that Crystal Skull, the fourth Indiana Jones one, that's also an S tier for you as well, right?
Yep, that's S. Well,
Okay. I do agree that show did seem like it was on the lead line fridge levels.
and when it came to me, that would be like a low DIE. Gotham Knight. Have you seen Gotham Knight, D Lord?
I think we lost Tiamat. The D Lord is no longer with us.
I
don't know.
I think he's just losing his mind hearing what I'm saying. Like Goblin
Yeah.
S tier and Crystal Skull is S tier. It's like he's like, what is wrong with Marvel D6 and wrestlers? It's like, did that bear that he has on his profile ate for half of his brain?
See what
Like,
the thing is, basically, I have it. Tries to switch the sound like it's lovely. We have two different mics. No, you guys rank certain stuff way too high for it. Like,
You guys, come on. It's DC here.
Yeah.
you know what? I mean, I'm sorry. I bet if you watched Ally McBeal, you would give that show an S. And
I mean, no dancing baby though.
I mean, you never know.
by the way, I have heard it before. So when you look at certain stuff, right? Like, what is it? Which one you just try to put up there? No, what? God, what was it? What you said? You called Crystal Skull. See, okay, it wasn't the best Indiana Jones, but it had they at least kept to canon lore, and he is Indy's son, and it's not as bad.
You're talking about Mutt now? It is as bad. It's worse, man.
What are you talking about? Mutt was like one of the best characters ever. I enjoyed his character arc.
I actually liked Kingdom of Crystal Skull. I actually did.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
Wow. I condemn both of you. I disavow.
Well, it's just like I have to disavow you and
I,
Patrick.
I was just like laughing at the mayhem we have going on right now. Can you?
Well, that's Discord. That's basically not Discord, but this is basically my browser trying to have seizure effects.
From me.
Look, Ally McBeal. See, okay, Miss Sparkles.
I voted for a few Fs, but
how would you rank? I said She-Hulk reminded me of Ally McBeal. Now, Miss Sparkles,
minus the dancing baby.
Okay. So we lost track of what was going on right now with too many tension. That's the Lord charm. Like, you're good at making.
Would you
tension.
rank Ally McBeal?
I have no idea. I haven't seen it. And now let's go back to the topic.
Yeah.
So where were we? We were like with Gotham Knight. Have you seen it, the Lord?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Gotham Knights was a cursed project from the start. I mean, come on. All you had to do was adapt the game. You had at least the game to work with, and the game wasn't that as atrocious, besides their choice to do something really dumb. But you could have at least followed it. And I would not even given that show a chance because I'm like, oh, you're going to use the daughter of the Joker. Yes, this is a firm F. It was cursed on arrival. So it was awful. Like, period. Because, oh, did you? And I bet you, if that show wasn't canceled, Bruce's adopted son was going to come out as gay. I bet you. That show was a dumpster fire beginning to end.
So you place it F, right?
If I could, I would sink it into the Marianas Trench.
So okay, so with my opinion and DC opinion that's there. So with your opinion, that drops to E. I.E.
Okay, what is your defense of Gotham Knights? I want to hear it.
I don't defend this show. This show was shit, bro. It's DC that likes it so much. DC gave it an S, bro.
I am not going to call you out. I know you're a big fan of Eric, and I know Eric loved Gotham Knights.
I hated this show. You can always find the episodes we covered this show. Cole and I were roasting the shit out of that show, and we were like, when DC needed to take a break from the podcast, I was like, now we just sound like these 8 channel out there.
So
Yeah.
basically, the thing about why it was horrible was you could have done anything with that show. You could have followed up, had a decent plot, and it just turns out not to be very good. It's like, oh, you could have introduced, everyone was like, oh, you could have introduced him as Terry McGinnis. But it's like, no, you went with all the safe characters you had access to and the dumbest storyline ever. And you thought the end of Batwoman was bad with Ruby Rose being found alive. And, okay, she apparently survived. And then she was going to go search
Spoilers.
for Bruce Wayne.
I can bet if Cole was around, that would be our first F because he also hated the show.
See, I said, by the way, She-Hulk reminded me of Ally McBeal meets Sex in the City in its premise.
With a little bit of twerking added. Yeah.
Anyhow,
With the middle-aged wine moms having
Gotham
a
Knight
midlife
is
crisis.
there.
Yeah, I think that we've had enough of that.
Okay, so
continue.
next up would be CW Naomi. Outside of me, anyone else has seen it? I'm wondering.
Nope, not me.
No, that needs to be dumped into a trench as well.
No.
So
It is a show that is actually based on a side comic, which her universe is there is no superheroes, which there is a universe similar to this, but she gets developed superpowers.
So anyhow, Sparkle, you're amazing. I just wish you had seen any of these shows so we can send you the link. Anyhow, so I only had seen the show once. We covered it with Cole, but I didn't have time to rewatch the entire thing, and I think that's a blessing because I think I would tear it apart even more. So just because of that, it goes to F. It's officially our first F.
So the thing about what happened with later CWs is they just started checking boxes and like what we could use as safe properties.
Yeah.
And it's like Naomi was a really niche comic to begin with to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I was right. Cole internet went out, so maybe he will be back. Maybe.
Look. So the idea of it is you do have to sometimes like. I'm not saying bottom like that was not even a good show. Like it was just that awkward. So it's like, well, you're gonna use it. But
Yeah. Okay. So coming next, we got Doom Patrol. Have you seen it, D Lord?
I actually like Doom Patrol.
Season 1, where would you place it?
I think most of it is it's mid tier A, then it goes to like low tier. It stays most of the runs stay in A form.
All season A for you?
Yes. I don't think I like Doom. Even though they are faithful to the adaptation, I think for the most part the series remains an A to me. To
Okay.
that. It's because of the then again it's supposed to be what's his name's origin story because he comes from Doom Patrol. Cyborg.
My computer! I hate you, computer. Stop moving these around. I don't want to. There we go. Okay. Now don't. Okay, perfect. Now, okay. So for you, that's A. For me, that was S. The first season was wonderful. I really liked it a lot. So I guess this will be top A. So for you, that was another A, I guess, right?
Yes,
Season
I
2.
say A. Yes.
So for me, that was S plus plus. I gave like the perfect grade to that season. So season 2.
I just think it stayed an A for me because parts of the show had the Teen Titan Go feeling to me, but it was meant to be more humorous.
Yeah. Season 3, you remain at A, and I think this is where it will sit because season 3 was a step down. Stupid computer. Stupid computer. And yeah, okay. Next up, can you keep tab on the chat because my computer is doing
Yes, I can.
nasty stuff, or Gray, one of you. And Gray, if there's a comment, can you highlight it because I can't?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up will be The Sandman. Outside of myself, who has seen it?
Not me.
I
not.
have
Okay. Where would you place it?
controversial opinion. I believe the series is S.
Oh, you believe
Wow.
what?
Controversy.
What? How come? I need
What?
to understand your point of view, bro. Why? This show
Why?
is so bad. I need to understand you, bro. Why?
Okay. Did you grow up with? Did you read any of The Sandman or Preacher?
I didn't.
There's your. I don't know, Miss Sparkles. Did you?
They gender swap Constantine.
Okay,
And that's
just
not
because
even a
you.
good Constantine.
They also
That's a
gender
shitty
swapped
Constantine.
They also
I
gender
wanted to
swapped the
throw up.
Dibble too.
I don't care. Like, she was a shitty Constantine. Like, she didn't feel like Constantine. She felt like, oh, let's throw her
Okay.
name in the ad.
Okay, not to say. Okay, would you rank Preacher?
I like Preacher a lot. That was amazing.
So
Except for season 3. Season 3 was weak.
I think they also took like the person, if I remember correctly, who played Lucifer was the person from Constantine. that played the Angel. Could be wrong, but like there, because the idea of Sandman, you know what Sandman is, right?
Well, I haven't read the comics, so I don't really know, but I've seen the show. That's all I can tell.
Okay, so
And that was a bad show. I don't know about the
So-
source of material, but I thought the show was bad.
so Sandman is basically I'll butcher the name. His name is Mephistopheles, I believe. And he's supposed to be oh god, I gotta remember this. I remember this off the top of my head though. He's of an entity that's eternal, that he is basically the ruler of the realm of sleep and
Okay.
dreams.
Okay.
And he is very nigh omnipotent and nigh powerful, even without his powers. Because that's kind of like why in DC you don't see Lucifer Morningstar. Because the thing about the Sandman universe or Vertigo is all of those entities basically transcend dimensions and gods. And that's what the show basically captured that.
Okay.
Now, some people did not like it because there's part of the original Sandman run and the Sandman comics that, like, they're not human. They are not remotely, and time is very different. So, like, if a DC level threat that could end the universe shows up, Lucifer Morningstar or Sandman could show up and end them. But they
Okay.
don't care about the affairs of mortals. So, like, how would you rank the show, Lucifer?
I haven't seen Lucifer. Maybe that's the next step. I think
need
this
to.
will be added.
So the idea, that's why I say it's S.
You
Like,
say
that's,
need to, but do we really need to?
What?
you like She-Hulk. You liked Velma. That is a sin against nature. And
But I mean-
DC has liked Arrow fourth season.
Yeah, and I like
Scrappy Doo was a sin against nature. Okay, Velma is decent. It had some good jokes.
yeah, and plus D-Lord, I like Batman and Robin, Superman 4 The Quest for Peace. Yeah.
Okay, I can forgive you for liking Batman and Robin. But okay, how would you rank it against the Tim Burton Batman stuff?
I mean, I enjoy all four of them. So it's like, even if I say Batman and Robin is better than the 1989 film, I still enjoyed the 1989 film a lot. I enjoy Batman.
But do you say that it's better than the 1989 film?
How would you rank the later ones? Which is the problem with.
I mean, I'm gonna have to include BVS. So, number 1's The Dark Knight. Number 2 is Batman v Superman. Number 3 is Batman and Robin.
Oh my!
Really?
So
You
okay.
broke my
Gates
brain.
and all.
Okay, so the thing about the Tim Burton Batman, it was in between the transition between Batman becoming the Dark Knight. Because TDK was it? Yeah. The Dark Knight Returns was becoming extremely canon and going to be the future of Batman. And I know it's a side tangent, so you have to understand. That was the last time you saw a more happy-go-lucky Batman prior, but he actually worked well with the material, as well as Danny DeVito's Penguin is still good. Now you can say Batman. I will say Batman and Robin isn't great. But
Okay,
it
enough
is-
of that tangent. Okay, sorry guys, but we got just so many tangents. So you say S rank, I will say for me that was like ID low C. So that would leave it in B.
Yeah.
So B.
You also have to realize too, HBO can do more. Whoever does a show, I think if you said it was HBO, they can actually do stuff normal television can't.
Yeah.
Because I will probably put on your recommended was I would put you guys need to see all of the Spartacus series. I should, maybe. And you won't hear me.
Okay. Could
Because
be interesting.
when you can actually make a darker series, and that's what HBO was able to do, they could have done better with the Watchmen. I don't rank Watchmen really well.
And that's another thing.
Watchmen. Wow.
That's another thing we could cover.
Because no, the HBO series did not.
No, they.
That
didn't
was
seem to
not good. That was.
get it. And then I have to respond to Miss Sparkle saying that she researched Batman with Jack Nicholson and it was bad. It's a different kind of Batman. I wouldn't go so far as to say bad, but
it was bad.
like Tina was talking about, it's not a like dark brooding Batman, and instead we got Michael Keaton, which is awesome.
And then,
I really dig it, and I like his version of the Joker, even though it is unlike any other version of the Joker.
that's the criminal
yeah.
Joker.
All right.
Yeah, I really I don't know, man. I dig it. Oh no, I'm saying you researched it, but rewatched it. Fair enough. I am looking at it through nostalgia glasses,
So,
but
the idea,
it was awesome. He
idea
had
of
toys.
various parts of Batman's story is.
Okay.
Now,
I want to say too, how would you guys rank the Batman the movie?
I liked it. That's one of my favorite, but I
Yeah.
haven't watched it under my very critical lens. Maybe it will get slightly worse, but that's my favorite in terms of tastes.
Yeah. I would say it's the second best Batman movie. If BVS never was a film, but I would rank it as like fourth best Batman movie at best. That's the recent one. I still love the movie, by the way. I still love it though.
Yeah.
It's a
Anyhow, let's
that's why
go back
it's-
to the topic
Yeah.
right now. So you have seen Creature. So we will ask Gray first because I know you have seen like few episodes. Based on what you have seen, where would you place it, Gray? Gray, are you still with us? Gray.
I think he probably is going to therapy right now from hearing my opinion on Batman movies.
Okay.
Look,
So I guess
you know
I'll
what?
ask D-Lord. Where would you place it, D-Lord?
Which
Preacher.
one?
Season 1.
Preacher?
Season 1 of Preacher.
I thought that series is an A to me.
So every season is A for you?
Yes, and Preacher has a really, really weird story to it. Like, they did a good job of trying to adapt what they could work with. AMC could have done better, but I didn't. I say the series was an A because they tried to handle it well, and they did a good job with it, but they didn't stick the landing.
I thought they did, but okay. So
Of end of season 1,
every season, except
Oh.
Tree. Tree was a down point for me. I
okay.
wasn't a big fan of Tree.
The concept of Preacher is he's a man of God, and he has, not to say if they ever get to the far, they explain what he is. The idea God abandoned his throne because Preacher's universe has the same thing like Supernatural's universe. God is a kind of an asshole and basically does whatever.
Yeah.
God disappeared. Of course, everyone goes, oh, looking for him. Oh. But there's a whole little thing. They tried to dance around the plot, but they couldn't get that landing in the series.
Yeah.
There's a character, there's core story, because why Preacher is successful. Now, what did
Yeah.
you think of Hell on Wheels?
The what?
Okay, you've never seen it.
No,
Hell on Wheels.
I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna go. That's another AMC series.
So I will place this over here, and um, I thought season 4 was my favorite. I really liked it. Um, what about you? Did you like how the show ended? As someone that knows the comic,
To remember how it ended, because if they got to the point where they dealt with, get off the top of my head, because one of it is tell you a quick refresh it. It's weird. I see a lot of TV shows I kind of remember, then some just go into the aether.
yeah,
Basically, uh, so yeah, like the ending, right? I felt like they kind of did it, because if you don't explain fully what Genesis is, because the
it's
idea
free will. I think
of the
based on the
gun
show.
of the gunman, because how the comic goes is the Confederate soldier wants nothing to do but die. God gets finally back to heaven, and he has the power to kill anything.
Yeah,
So God goes, "Hey, give me my throne back," and he just kills God and finally dies sitting on the throne. I'm just gonna say that is a scene. If they executed that because that's in the comic, and and the other guy's just like, he's living, and it's just goes to his own thing. That's why
yeah,
I said the series is an A to me, because it kind of adapts the stuff. They kind of, the whole idea of what maybe Genesis is, they kind of mess with it. But
yeah. Okay, so coming next, Runaways. I think I'm the only one that has seen all 3 seasons. You know about the comic, but you haven't seen the show, I think. Season 2 is the worst shit I've seen on TV. It's side by side with She-Hulk. That's
The
horrendous.
worst so far.
Oh,
Season 2
oh,
of
he's
She-Hulk is
back.
coming around.
He's back.
Hey, I've been here.
So would you place them elsewhere? The 4 seasons of Preacher, Grey? Because I remember you have seen the
I
first season.
unfortunately didn't really see them. I know I saw part of season 1, but I don't feel like I'd seen enough to actually rank them.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I think I got to abstain from that.
All good. So I will place Runaways, the season 1 and 3, to this tier with Gotham Knight, because this is where they belong. Maybe higher than Gotham Knight. One is worse, one is better, I guess.
you're
But the
only
bar is
part,
really low.
but then again, you're only partial to CW shows because they're filmed in Canada.
No, not really, bro.
It
I mean,
helps.
It has nothing
you
to
know.
do. I don't care about Canada, bro. I actually hate the place where I live, but I live there because I got a condo. That's the only reason. Um,
I mean, it's a good enough reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good enough reason. Anyhow, Elstrom, have you seen that?
No.
Gray or
Unfortunately, I think there's only like 2 or 3 more that I've actually seen on here.
Okay, so I guess Elstrom. And what about you, D-Lord? Have you seen Elstrom?
No.
Okay, so Elstrom. This was actually decent. It wasn't amazing, wasn't bad. It was just okay. Higher than Batwoman.
You have Black Lightning on there. If you haven't seen, that's an interesting show.
I liked it a lot. Really solid show.
Parts of it, because people want to call that Static Shock based, but Black Lightning is an established character, and I think they focused a little bit too much on the gay daughter, but that story is rather odd.
I like their relationship. That was a great love relationship. That was one of
Now,
the
Cloak and Dagger,
well-written one.
Cloak and Dagger was weird to me. I
Oh,
put
yeah, I've
that
seen
to-
Cloak and Dagger. Okay, where
I
would you
feel
place
that's
it?
a high B.
IB. Okay, so I would place it somewhere in D. So that means that goes to C. Ah, wait, what happened to this? It jumped. Where? Oh, my computer is awful.
And the fact, if you're going to go by
Okay,
Superman and Lois, I thought was okay, then
there
it
we
just
go.
fell off a cliff.
Okay. Wait one sec. So you said IB for Cloak and Dagger?
I said kind of mid-tier B or low-tier
Mid-tier
B.
B. Okay, so I guess we'll leave that one low C. Powers. Have you seen the first season of Powers?
Not off the top of my head, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so this one, computer. Why are you doing this, computer?
I think your computer's trying to copy from Cole's neighbors. It's like, join Cole's neighbors as this stream's worst enemies.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? This is what happens when you consume bad television.
There we go. Powers. Coming next, we got. You talked about Black Lightning. Have you seen Black Lightning, Gray? Gray. Gray.
I think Gray is trying to hunt
No, I haven't. I put it in the private chat. I've only seen
Okay.
Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Defenders from the list so far. And what's up with Andor being on there like 5 times? Am I wrong? Is that Andor season 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Because I can
Future
bet there will
seasons?
be five season. You can bet, bro.
You think there will be 5 seasons?
Yeah. They
As
can
I
make
said,
out that
the,
cash cow, they will.
as I said, the only reason there's another season of Velma is because of the runtime.
Okay, so I will ask you, D Lord, Black Lightning season 1. Where would you place it?
I place that as an A.
A. Okay.
And I
for-
think the series eventually falls a little bit into the low B, high B's because how they handled it towards the end, it falls off. So that's how that eventually, like the first others, it's not bad because it got a lot of hate because everyone thought it was, Black Static Shock they couldn't do Static Shock. No, Static Shock is more a clone of Black Lightning.
Yeah.
So
And I will defend the show a bit. I thought the show got better every season, but unfortunately, I didn't have time to rewatch season 4 for the podcast. That's the season I've seen the less. But I thought season 1 was the weakest. For me, that was IC. So I placed it in B because for A, that was a A.
I mean, not to mention the creator is also that creator is also a special person.
Yeah.
Like just to give you an
Well,
idea,
see-
I was kind of curious because this is in that weird period. So the average for season 1 was 2.73.
Yeah.
Season 2 was 1.44. Season 3 was 1.09, and the 4th season couldn't even get a 1.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was COVID as well. Like there was that COVID time where
because if
affected-
you think about it, right, the first season had at least 2.7 million viewers.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad of a show.
I think numbers they don't always talk about something good or not, but can reflect at some extent how it caught up people attention. Anyhow, season 2, you said B or C. Where would you place it? Season 2.
I would put that's when it slides to the low A's.
Low A's. Okay, so for
And
me,
then I would put the rest that's when it starts sliding scale down.
so for me that was also a low A. So because we are both saying it's A, it will be A. So season 3, you said B or lower than
It
B?
starts with B, yes.
B. Okay. Al, where is it? I lost sight of it. Stupid computer, I hate you. If someone sees season 3 of Black Lightning, just let me know so I can move it.
What's the one that's still down there?
Oh, it got mixed up with the others. Oh, I see. There we
Let's
go.
see. God, you and your purple font.
Okay. So for me, that season was wonderful. The best season of the show. I would place it A as well. Maybe S. So low A again.
I think the show became a victim of identity politics of the time. That's where there was a big push because there was a gay character in the comic. You must make the person gay. And then it affected the whole show. It created the CW problem. It made everything from the Flash rubbed off onto it.
So Black Lightning season 4, where would you place it?
I did not like the ending.
Me neither. The ending
I
was
think
actually
that's
shit.
why I said it became very mediocre.
So where would you place season 4?
At the best, a low B, maybe
Low
a high.
B.
Yes. But by
So
the end, it was already in a C.
based on what I remember from it, that would be IC low B. So I guess we will place it low B as well. There we go. Higher than this though.
It at least got a better treatment than the prior.
Yeah.
It
Um.
didn't get butchered by CW versus they tried to trap the writers in identity politics and it destroyed what potential show could ever do.
Yeah. So I see. Okay. So Gray has seen 3 more. So we will cover one of the 3 left that Gray has seen. So Iron Fist. Gray, where would you place season 1 of Iron Fist?
I'm going to go straight down to the E series, the E column. I really had no desire to watch any more of it. I don't remember why I watched season 2. If I remember right, did both of those come out before the Defenders?
Yes.
I know I watched one of the
season 1
seasons to watch Defenders, but I don't know why I watched more of it. I just found the character to be like utterly boring, and then I don't know, he just was not sympathetic in any way, and to be honest, the choreography in it looked horrible. And this was like just coming off of Daredevil, where they had a whole bunch of like fight scenes where the choreography looked great. So to me, it lost on like every level, and I just did not want to watch any more of it. So the highest I can give that one is an E. I would give it an F, but season 2 was worse for me. So
yeah,
I'm
season
saving
2 is
room.
awful.
Now that is a show that I think started off good and it began to fall off because I would say the premise was an A, then it fell to a B, and they were able to recover some of it. They attempted it, but that's a show that fell off the rails.
Yeah.
And like, Greg, did you know who Iron Fist was going into it?
Gray. I guess something happened, or Gray is still muted, and he tried to answer you. Gray!
Gray's muting because he's trying to.
No, it's my stupid headphones. I thought I figured out the Bluetooth thing, but apparently if I like even look in the other direction, it just disconnects. And then
So
it takes
we
apparently
need
like
to-
2 minutes to reconnect. Sorry about that. So I heard Gray, but I did not hear what was before that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
what did you know of Iron Fist prior to?
Not much. Like I had a couple Defenders comics back in the day, so like I knew what costume he had. I knew that he had like, you know, the magic what is it, Kundalun power or whatever. But I've never like followed like one of his arcs like completely or anything like that.
So-
I'm just familiar with them, but
I
tangentially.
can see why. When that's the whole thing with Defenders and them, it's based on, of course, like they have it. Is he is more human, but he does have like he's kind of like has basically, I would say, more martial arts powers kind of thing. That's his actual just, and that's what some people like. Some people dislike it. Some people like his powers because in some stories he was an Oriental, and then other people he became really popular because he was a white person.
Well, so where would you kind of put this? Like, so you seem to be
That's
more
what I
familiar with
said.
the
I
character.
said it started off as an A. The series slid into like the B territory, and that was really
So still, you see it as like a B. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me not being as familiar with the character. I wasn't entertained by it at all. Like, I had no desire to keep watching, except for, if I remember right, like we were kind of, and I bought the hype way too many times that like you need to watch this to be able to understand Defenders, or you need to watch Captain Marvel to understand Endgame. I remember falling for that both times and being like, "This sucks.
they have
Like,
such
why
a
isn't
weird
this show over
and the
yet?"
thing is the show has such a weird relationship with the MCU. Like they call it a
Mhm.
entertainment universe versus the other because it's more of a side story versus they're actually
It feels like it to me.
there.
That's why I don't know. B seems a little high to me, but I'll totally let you to each their own.
Okay,
You choose a B.
so
Sure.
okay, B, E, I would sit on a C. So that means ID. Because my C is low. And I don't know what happened, why Superman and Lois is right there, because I didn't even talk about it yet. Computer, man! Computer. Where are the other two seasons of Superman and Lois? What happened?
It is interesting, I will say, because I was trying to look this up. So the audience viewership really wasn't listed for
Yeah, Netflix didn't like to give that out.
that was
Yeah.
weird at the time, and you could pretty much, because it's like Doctor Who, right? Like the idea is you can have ratings initially are good, and then you can have the adjustments. That's how like they rank the Doctor Who's.
So, Iron Fist, second season. Where would you place it? D-Lord.
Ooh.
I might place that in a B
Okay.
because some of the writing, the show became a victim of writing.
Yeah. When you speak about identity politics, that add plenty. Gray, where would you place that one?
Yeah, solidly in the F category. I think it is worse than the first season, and by a long shot. And I enjoyed every bit of it, even less than the first season, where I was extremely bored, but thought I needed to know. Yeah, I don't know why I finished this one, but yeah, wasn't happy.
I will add more to this. I also hated that season. I would place it E. Like that was a 4-ish for me. I think either that was a 4 or that was a 2. I can't remember. If that's a 2, that's F. But if that's a 4, that's like right here. Can't remember what I gave exactly. So I think that's right in the middle. That feels right. Okay. The Titan TV show. I will ask DC. I don't think he has seen it, but I will still ask you, DC. Have you seen it?
Seen what?
Titans, the
No, I've
TV
not.
shows. Okay. Have you seen it, D Lord? D Lord. D Lord. D Lord. D Lord. D Lord. I guess
He's
not.
gone.
Yeah. So that relies on me. Season one, based on my last viewing, that was like roughly a 5 or maybe a 6 if they're lucky. The show got better every season except for season 4. So the season one, based on what I remember, that was most likely a 5. So I would place it maybe like right here, right underneath Elstrom. Season 2 was most likely a 6. So that means low C. Season 3 was a 7, which is the IC. There we go. Season 4, I can't remember. I remember the first half being really solid, but the second half being dog shit. So maybe that's another 7, or maybe that was a 6. I can't remember. So because of that, I will place it right in the middle of C. You haven't seen any of this Titan season, Dre, right? I will just
I have
double
not.
check.
I've
Okay.
only seen the other 2 Netflix ones.
Okay. Titan is not worth watching, to be honest. Anyhow,
Are we talking about the one?
Titans, the HBO one with edgy Robin that says F Batman.
Oh, you. It wasn't as bad.
Okay, we will rearrange it. So what did you think of season 1? Where would you place season 1?
I mean, there's been several. I thought it was weird. It was like
The
a
show
B.
got better over the seasons, but that was never really flying any eye.
I mean, it's okay though. We know Gray would have loved Starfire.
Anyhow, where would you place season 1?
But that is a high B.
IB, so that means I C because I was a mid D. Where would you place season 2?
It stayed in that B category for me. It kind of had moments it dropped to C because of some people couldn't get the source material correct. But
What about season 3?
don't remember.
That was the Scarecrow season with Red Hood.
Ugh. Yeah, that's why I kind of forgot about that one.
So
Yeah,
where
no,
would you
I put
place
that
one?
like a C. That
Okay.
show started to slide
Okay, so that's
because
a
the
nice
idea, right, is the premise of Tim Drake could go do stuff on his own to get his ass kicked. Yeah, let's no.
And season 4, do you remember that one? That's the latest one, the one that ended the show.
I did not know that things still continued.
That's telling.
I mean, well, let's not forget. Let's not forget making Starfire look less black hookery. And only people who get that seen that show would know what I'm talking about.
Anyhow, next up, we will move on to Supergirl. Have you seen Supergirl, D Lord? I know DC has seen it, but have you seen it, D Lord?
Mid and first season belonged in a gutter because they tried to recapture Lois and Superman horribly with identity politics, and the show was mid or crap at best.
So E or F? Which one?
I pretty much put all of that show in. If you're lucky, it barely hits a C. First
Oh,
season is
D.
an F. I
Oh, okay.
would
First
put the
season F.
rest in pretty much. If you really want it, it was
I
one
need
of.
your opinion, bro, because we will
Okay, the
have.
first one, the first season was like a D.
Okay, D.
And then some moderately improved. CW kind of made it presentable at a C when they did their season. And then the show just stayed in D category or F for the rest of its run.
Okay, so this is how you would place it.
Pretty much.
Okay, so then we will rearrange it with my opinion and DC opinion. So,
Gray, we need your opinion on Supergirl.
have you seen Supergirl, Gray? I don't think he has seen it. I don't think he has seen it
No.
because he said he only had seen Luke Cage and Defenders. Anyhow, for me, season 1 of Supergirl was E. Where would you place it? DC. DC. DC.
We're losing everybody.
Oh, he's there. Okay. Season 1 is low CID. Okay. Low CID. So low CID. So that means that will remain in D. Higher than these two. Season 2 DC. Where would you place that one? If DC is still around.
And you're saying season 2 high C for him.
I see for in. So I see for in. For me, that was another E. So that puts it back to D. ID. Um, season 3.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back, but yeah.
Oh, good. Season 3. Where would you place it?
E.
E.
Yep.
And me, I would place it on B, which leveled that one up a lot to a low C.
Again, they both came from Glee. And I know you enjoyed the crossover and the crossover episode with Lucy.
Season 4, DC.
High C.
I see, so that would be ID. And with my opinion in the mixed, that would be IC as well. There we go. Season 5, that one was bad.
F.
F. So that would be E with my opinion. That would be bottom D. Season 6, we haven't seen it, so I will place it. That's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath 3.
Yep.
That seems fitting. Okay, next up, Defenders. So, Gray, what did you think of Defenders? Which tier would you place Defenders?
That's a good question. Parts of it really, really sucked, and then a few parts of it seemed okay. I remember it being a pretty poor offering. I liked it more than at least the final season of The Punisher. I might go like a low C with it. It wasn't great, but like I've definitely seen worse. I think all of Iron Fist was worse. I think I'd go low C, but maybe it'd be a high D. I don't know. I might be too generous with it.
No, I agree with you. D-Lord, where would you place it? Defenders.
I think the series overall was an A.
Oh, very interesting.
I liked it. It was one of those series. It was
So
they did it. They kind of respected the material, but they also understood what they had to work with. And it wasn't everyone's cup of tea because bear in mind the Defenders lineup is very awkward.
yeah, and I will say for me that was a low B icy. So that put it back here. Okay. Agent Carter. Outside of me, who has seen it?
Poor
Not
you.
enough to really rank it.
Okay. Oh, actually, you had seen Gen V, so Gen V is another thing you have seen.
Shit, I didn't see that was on the list.
That's in between Andor and Agents of
Oh,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
nice. Yeah, that blends right into me. Yes, I've
Yeah.
seen Gen V. I've got
So-
thoughts.
So we will place that eventually. But anyhow, I'm the only one that has seen more Agent Carter. Season 1 is a IC for me. Maybe lower than Defenders because the characters in Defenders are more memorable than Carter. Carter was the only good character in her own show, which is sad. I wish it had more to offer than just her. Um, Season 2 was an improvement, though. Season 2, I remember getting either 8 or 9.
They tried to recapture, like, I think a little bit of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but
It wasn't anywhere near as good. The characters are not the same at all.
Look, let's be clear. Certain shows, depending on it, there's a reason that certain companies don't try it. Because the problem, like the season 1 of Supergirl, is it was done by CBS, and they tried to literally repitch Lois and Clark.
That's funny because it came up before, so yeah.
And then it's like, well, we can try to save this series. CW swooped in, saved it.
So outside of me, who has seen Inhuman? Nobody. Okay, so
Yeah, I saw like an episode and again decided not for me.
good choice. That was bad. I can't remember which one I hated more. Iron Fist second season or Inhuman. I'd
I
say Iron
have
Fist
seen
second
that.
season.
It was one of those series they tried to adapt, and it just went horribly.
Okay, so where would you place it, my friend?
I have to say a C.
Oh, that's generous, but okay. So the thing right in between is D, but my computer crashed again.
That's because the show was just that they so tried, and it was.
Well, that sucks because they had some good actors in there too. Like I don't know, it had potential, but I don't know. Were you as familiar with the comics for Inhumans?
Yes.
I know that was kind of a big run with the whole not being able to use mutants thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of seemed like it was their next big hope. But
Well, to be fair,
I don't know.
Inhumans are always a replacement for mutants if you never do.
Fair enough. I was not as familiar, but like, I don't know, all the promotional everything that I saw for it, it seemed really cool. You know, like there's the chick with the hair and
But they cut off her ears
that
in the
beast
first
thing.
episode.
Yeah. So, you know.
This is how we make
Um,
TV shows, guys. We give them cool power, we take away the first episode.
So,
I don't know. It looked like it could be cool, and I'd never gave it a chance. But
That was bad, bro.
so the problem is, right? Like, okay, question: why does
Yeah.
Black Bolt always whisper?
He doesn't whisper.
Well, in the comics, he's supposed to.
Ah, okay. I
Now,
didn't know.
why does he do that?
Because he doesn't want to rip off someone's head.
According to the dependent lore, he could be the most powerful person ever. Like,
Yeah.
he could cause stuff really bad things to happen. So sometimes he speaks softly or just doesn't speak or speaks.
I mean, I don't really agree with Black Bolt being that powerful because I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more powerful characters in the Marvel universe. So, I mean, yeah, he does have to do it so it doesn't cause a lot of destruction, but I don't think that makes him like one of the most powerful characters. Besides, there's
Why
a
was
lot
he? Why was he a member of the Illuminati?
I don't
because
know.
because he's
Coming next.
in the comic
Uh,
meant to represent the Inhumans.
But he is representative. Is very powerful.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
Anyhow,
only the members. Just so you know, Mo, like that's why like when you represent the Illuminati is meant to be the most powerful people. That's why there's like Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, Professor X. So he is very powerful. It just depends on who writes Black Bolt, because sometimes
yeah,
he is
true.
so powerful. If he barely speaks above a whisper, like at his full power, he could blow away a part of a city.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So coming next, Agents of Shield. Have you seen any of the seasons? D Lord.
I would put it as I think the series started off as an A and then just settled into B's.
That's a good take. I like it. I do agree a lot with that.
They had more good. It was one of those things. Some episodes had really good, a little
Yeah.
bit of they tried to do it, and for some of it, the series actually played into what was it? The MCU.
Yeah. And
And
that's interesting because season 2 had a trans allegory that only a few people would really realize it. But Daisy, she unlocks her power and she becomes someone else, and she also changed her name. So that's like a really subtle and
so are
smart
you.
trans
So are
allegory.
you saying like? How did you like the depiction of a Ghost Rider?
I like Ghost Rider. That was wonderful. I thought it was the best part of season 4. Season 4 ended up being shit because of the back half, but the Ghost Rider aspect of it, I liked it so much.
Sounds good.
Okay. So where do you think it fell off to a B? Which season it fell off to a B for you?
Well, I think it's after when you started getting the season 3. B is
So
like
season 3 or season 4 is the first B for
season
you?
3 and season 4, because the latter half of the show, if I forget a TV show at the end, that means I lost interest in it.
Okay. So 3 is your first B, so that means because I think 3 is A as well, it will be top of B.
And then we're gonna see. I'd have to see what your opinion of Supernatural would be.
I haven't seen it. I heard of it a lot, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
One of the
So
longest running CW shows ever, because what is it? And then it finished out its run because it was literally like 10 years.
I'd actually place Daredevil higher than Agents of Shield there. Yeah. And so season 4, we both agree this is weaker. So I I unfortunately didn't have time to a full rewatch. I had seen it last year and I thought that was average at best. But on this rewatch, I did see most of the season, and the season actually got worse. So for me, that would be like between a B and a C. So I guess we will place it in C because you placed it on a B.
Yeah.
It feels wrong to place that above Supergirl season 4. There we go. Okay. Season 5. You thought that was still a B, right?
What I think it's as I fell off. I think it gets to the C territories at that point.
Yeah. Okay. This is C territory for you. Oh, you're actually I'm with you. I think it's worse than that. It's more D territory for me. So that would be
It
like
starts
low
sliding
C.
because eventually the problem with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it slid into mediocrity.
Yeah,
And it started going down. And when you start becoming that campiness is when everyone loses interests.
yeah. Okay, so next one, Superman and Lois, season 1.
Actually, I say the first season, that's an A for me.
Okay. Oh shit! Why did I move that one? Go back to where you were. No. I hate you,
Despite the fact of the eventually Superman becomes
Actually, that was there.
Lois becomes a strong woman. It's because if you go off the crossover episode when they first showed that Superman,
Yeah.
he gets basically cuckolded by Lois Lane. So everyone thought that show was going to be awful. So the first season actually impressed people. Though I don't like the way they dealt with Superman's family.
Yeah.
Because it's very different in the story. Because if he is supposed to be John Kent, they were actually going to make him gay prior to turning him gay in the comics.
Really interesting. So anyhow, you said A, me that would be S. So A.
Yes. You have way too high on that.
I liked season 1. Season 2 was a drop off though, but season 3 is a
This is the
masterpiece.
thing. It represents family values really good.
Yeah, about that.
Well, yeah, I've seen like 5 episodes, DC.
I watched the majority of season 3, like near to the end. So, but yeah. So at least it's yeah.
You
And
misunderstood parts of it, bro.
Yeah.
We're not talking to racists.
And also, multi heads up. Season 3 will probably have to be my last one for now. But yeah. So
Okay.
once you rank season 3, I'm gonna have to leave. But yeah.
Okay. So season 2. What did you think of season 2, D Lord?
Started off at a low A, then it slid into B's.
I do agree a lot with this.
Because that's when you start seeing the cuckolding and deconstruction of Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. There is no, you just. And this is what I was like, CW, you finally had a good show. You finally could have. No.
I'd place it in the middle of that tier though, because I see many shows. I'm like, oh, Superman OS, they did better. Anyhow, season 3 is a masterpiece for me. Have you seen season 3 to the end?
I kind of forgot the ending.
Cliffhanger fights Doomsday on the moon with Lex Luthor being a crazy monster beating the crap out of other criminals.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were going to do the Doomsday tease. And yeah, they tried to go back.
I just realized I did shut off the presentation. That's
so
weird.
did they? So here's the problem. They tried to recapture a little bit of Smallville, because if anyone remembers Smallville's representation of Doomsday,
Yeah.
it was rather weak as well.
Yeah.
It's like,
Anyhow, where would you place season 3? It had a cancer storyline going on for the entire season, and I liked it. C?
Yes.
Okay, where would you place it, DC?
Low C.
Okay, so 2 C's. For me, that was the S plus. It was like best TV can offer. So that would be mid B again, but it cannot be lower than season 2. Where are you, season 2? You're there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyhow, what do you have going on your channel, DC?
Not much, not much. Other than I'm trying to get some ideas. Yeah, I've been trying to get a lot of ideas just so I can, create some content. But yeah, I've been getting ideas.
Okay, that's very good news. Um, so, um, have a great day. Take care, and we will talk later.
Bye.
So, it's just us three now, and we will tackle Gen V, which is, I think, the. Oh no, Luke Cage. There's also Luke Cage. Have you seen Gen V, D Lord?
Yes, I think Gen V is. I think it's a good A. It's a good like A series.
Where
I
would you
mean-
place it?
I think they handled it really well. Like probably high A.
IA for you. What about you, Gray? Gen V.
Yeah, so I got really mixed feelings on Gen V. As we like started going through it, week by week, there was a bunch of potential. Like there were a bunch of possible, I don't know, I guess possible storylines that I was seeing that I was giving it way too much credit for. So had you asked me like halfway through it, I would have gone, yeah, totally an A. But the fact that they did nothing and everything was just like straight on, it just was not. There was nothing additional in there. Just the fan theories were so much better than the actual show itself. So I don't know. I think by the time it was over for me, it's a C. But I think up until that final one, I probably would have gone A. But yeah, it just kind of retroactively ruined it for me. There was just so much potential. Like they were setting up like characters that have really superpowers, and it's did they actually do the inciting incident? And then they didn't pay that off. At all. Apparently
They're
it just happened
trying
very
to go for a
straightforward.
pay. They're trying to set up a payoff,
Yeah,
and
and that's what
the
it felt
question
like. But I thought they were
is-
making their own world
the
while setting up that
question
payoff.
is the problem that goes against this series itself is the fact they tried to put the more wokeness or the jokes they couldn't. So if you take the boys as them trying to deconstruct conservatives, which has had a different backlash, Gen V gave them a chance to actually strike back. It's a little weird. I say it's an A, and it falls. It's because of the execution. Because if the payoff is good,
Yeah,
and it goes into the boys, and it will be good. But
I don't think
it
so.
could be.
As one
I'm
thing,
just not
it's
You
sure
don't
because like they
know.
set up so many things.
You
Like
don't know.
at the beginning, so
There's-
this one character basically explodes, Golden Boy. I think that's season or episode 1. It seems like that could be close to Marie's power. Like every time that she gets scared, people tend to get hurt, and it's blood related. I don't know. It
Well,
just seemed like that could have been a
the
payoff that they were
problem-
doing.
No,
It
there's
still could be
there
later,
is a
but
bigger payoff to this. The thing is,
for
it all
sure.
depends
But
on
every little thing that they set up, also with like Seti basically being like her surrogate mother, the only person to actually touch Kate in years, and then she says, "I need you to do one more thing for me," and then it cuts to like the next episode, she just slits her throat. It just seems so much
So
like that was a
you're-
setup that she was going to be using mind control powers for that thing.
So you're
It just-
missing the which is like the one little core part of the payoff.
I also hated the
Perhaps
show.
I
so
don't
much.
think I don't think they paid it off like these little threads that were out there made for like a really good potential show, and then
You didn't.
they
You
actually didn't pay off on any of these
You didn't
yet.
read.
Not the least of which is no, I didn't read it, but not the least of it is the smoking gun. You know, like Chekhov's gun. Like they had some dude piss in a liquor bottle. Why did we have that whole scene when nobody drank the? Like I don't know. They just set up a whole bunch of things and did zero payoff for it for like the whole season.
if
I thought the potential would be good, and then just the payoff was a total letdown
Okay.
to me. So it drops it down to a C.
if they pay off one aspect of it, it will be very good. You missed the whole virus part.
I didn't. I understood that, and it also seemed like extremely on the nose. Like
If
all of a sudden, this
that
drunk scientist
case-
comes in and just happens to like do this monologue explaining exactly what's going on. These other people just happen to overhear it. Like, there's just really dumb ways of doing that. Where like he could have just had his data from the experiment, could have
I
just
agree.
left it on her desk, and then they could have found that.
And
But
see,
instead, he has to
this
piss in a
is the-
bottle, like setting up that somebody's going to drink this piss booze. But that never happens. Instead, he literally is just there to give out the exposition of
So
here's these secret tests I'm running. I don't know. It's horrible.
So the after credits, right, kind of tell a story, and if they actually pay that off, that's actually part of like a big plot in The Boys. But
I
we
know,
That's
and
one
I feel like
season, bro. It's like saying,
feel like it's
"Oh, I
just-
need to be excited about next product to like this product." It doesn't add up for me.
what I could get why you say that. I get kind of why, because it is very weird. Because, well, then again, we don't know how they're gonna do The Boys.
Okay, but you've heard of like the writing thing, like Chekhov's gun, right? Like if you introduce a gun in the first act or the second act, it's got to be used by the third act. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing with that piss booze bottle. Like it was introduced, but they did nothing with it. There's so many threads like that where it feels like poor writing to me. I
It
understand what
is.
you're saying about the virus. That seems to be the entire reason of this season,
I
but it kind of
feel that
negates
that
everything that
is-
happened here.
I feel that that's what they're trying to introduce, and the question is whether or not they'll be able to pay that off, because they have yet for the big event in The Boys to happen. There is one big giant event, and the question of how they pay that off. I want to so talk about it. But
I hear
Um,
you. I
so-
want it to be good. It just, I don't know. To me, it feels like this was just a setup for The Boys next season, as opposed to like its own world where I thought they were going for it. They let out all these threads of it. And to me, it just felt like a letdown. But I was enthralled week to week. Like going into it, I thought this is going to suck. I didn't like the last season of The Boys. And it really caught my attention. But everything that it like set up, it didn't pay off for me, which sucks. It was a disappointment by the end.
I agree with you, Gray. And my grade was like a 4 or a 4.5 out of 10. So that for me, that would be E. That's why I dropped down to C. We are like leaning toward the C for this. And anyhow, I liked The Boys' first season. Season 2 was disappointment. Season 3 was another disappointment. And Gen V was another, well, actually, I won't say disappointment because I had no expectation toward it. Anyhow, Luke Cage, Season 1. Where would you place it, Gray?
I actually kind of liked season 1. It wasn't great. I didn't really know what to expect from these other ones. I think just Jessica Jones had been out before that, and
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of liked it. It wasn't great, but it had like some potential. I'd be somewhere between a low B and a high C for the first season, and then there was significant drop off for me.
I am with you. I fully agree with you. What about you, D-Lord? Where would you place Luke Cage?
I think the series is overall an A.
Oh, that's interesting. So that rise of the score to mid B.
I mean, it's the whole thing of that's the weird part, because the payoff, if the payoff goes into Defenders, you have Luke Cage, you have the Daredevil series. That's where it goes into it. And
Yeah.
it is not like Iron Fist by far, because you could say that was victim of the writing. Like there was some really weird like stuff with Iron Fist. Like the Iron Fist you see introduced later on is not as bad as a show. But
Yeah.
the fact alone Netflix refused to release the numbers on it when they could have. It was probably the most poor received of it.
Yeah. Okay, so season 2 of Luke Cage. Where would you place it, Gray?
It was a significant drop off for me. I can't even remember. Was it Cottonmouth? I'm trying to remember the name of like the
I can't
bad
remember
and
either.
that. I didn't like it. It wasn't that memorable. The only thing I remember is just disappointment. I didn't hate Defenders. I think Defenders came out and then season 2 came out, if I remember right.
Exactly. Yeah.
It felt like a letdown, and Defenders to me felt like a step down from season 1. So I don't know. I think I'd have to go with like a D, like a low D.
And when it comes to me, that would be, if I remember correctly, a low C or a IC. So that would be top D. And what about you, D-Lord? Where would you place it? Still A for season 2?
Pretty much.
Okay,
I
so
wasn't really disappointed about the series.
that would be mid C because of that. Just underneath that. So now every show we needed to place has been placed. So we will rearrange a few things so it's not as ugly. This will go here. So we got 10 in that row. We got 5 on the top row, and we will go to the bottom row there. And we will add a few more, like Batwoman. Let's just go there, join them. This is where you belong.
I'd be down with Iron Fist going down there.
You know what? You literally give too much hope to certain series. But even I, not outside of nostalgia glasses, have that view of it.
Hey man, you just gave Luke Cage an A. Luke Cage season 2. That seems pretty hope filled.
Yeah,
It wasn't horrible. I didn't like the enemy as much on the second one. Like
To be fair, okay, Defenders is. But Defenders is a book they really don't screw up too much. And then how do you handle someone like, because it's like when you're not dealing with like the big people, you're still dealing with like, so if Daredevil is not part of the main cast, he's working with the Defenders.
yeah.
So
That's
it's basically like, oh, you have Luke Cage, right? Luke Cage's premise is he is subtly a mutant or maybe a metahuman, depending on your idea, because he is virtually indestructible.
So, that was very fun. Thank you for being there for that bonus episode where my computer keep messing around and effing me over. That's wonderful. Anyhow, that was very fun. So that was your second time doing a tier list with us, Gray. That was very fun. What did you think of that tier list?
Yeah, I wish I had seen more of them and had kind of brushed up on some of my points. For the next season, I'll actually keep notes, and then I can refer back to them and scores and such. Yeah, innovations.
Yeah. So tomorrow we officially start the 4th season of the podcast with the movies we posted on the discussion last week and the TV shows as well. Anyhow, what do you have going on your channel, D-Lord? If you have a channel or a network or whatever.
Nothing. I've just been working with Gray, and I'll be very honest with you. It was Thanksgiving last week. Holiday season's weird for me. It's subtly busy, but it's not. I will have to help Gray tease this. He is going to start his Diablo 4 journey eventually.
Oh,
but I
that's
tried to
interesting.
drag him. I was going to drag him yesterday while it was double XP weekend.
Yeah,
But you're like, I can't do this. And I'm just like, okay, I wasn't going to pester you. But
I've purchased it. It's gonna happen, but yeah.
you
sorry, I
got
missed the,
30, by
double
the
gold
way, you
weekend.
got 30 hours of a story. That's why
And-
I would have said. But
and-
that's where we still have the news thing. Gray got sick last week, but Thanksgiving's that weird time of year for channels.
Yeah, it is always a weird time. You're lucky you don't have to experience it. I don't know. It's nice because you get to reflect on things, but it's just, a
The
lot
world
right
goes to
before
hell
Christmas and
around you,
everything.
and you're like,
Yeah.
so the only time you ever see channels release stuff on like Thanksgiving, it's pre-recorded. Like they literally
Generally.
shove it, and you get the other time as you get towards like Christmas as well.
Yeah.
It's like you don't. I think like game streamers are one of the like few like Gray's gonna start. Like at least that and the Diablo 4 grinding and a little bit of probably tease a little bit of commentary over gameplay. But he does need to experience the magic, which is actually the story of Diablo 4.
It does seem magical. I'm excited for it.
So
That's the main thing that we got going on.
so I'm
And yes, it is. It's one of his favorite naked dudes.
I'm wondering, Gray, how is it going with the intro thing for the podcast? I'm wondering, is there any progress, or you didn't have time, or no pressure,
Zero
just asking.
progress. I was really under the weather and then surrounded by family, which was also made me feel sick. But yeah, I've done nothing on it. I need to do more. So I will get on that, but I don't know if it'll be ready for the first episode.
That's fine. That's fine. As I said, no pressure.
I will
I'm
have
just wondering.
to address this because she is very curious about this image. I will say this again. This is so Arch did this for his gatekeeping series. He got sent it by a viewer.
Wow.
It is of I don't know if you could pull it up if I dragged it into your like Discord to show it.
Oh my, that's something.
It's actually not that bad. It is literally how I describe it. And I don't know if you could pull it up without killing your own stream, but I'll send it to you. So he did it for his gatekeeping series. I have to.
Let me look into it.
Can you
Please
open your
don't die,
Discord?
computer.
Can your Discord not die trying to do this?
I don't know. I don't trust it. Anyhow, maybe later on or after the stream.
So I will say it is it will so you get the idea. There you go. There is let me see if it loads. It doesn't load. So the story, it is Arch in thinking position, sitting on butter, a block of butter, and a waffle.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So the thing is, that's the image. I know it looks weird as hell because I've had this stored for years. It's since it occurred, and it is considered a thing.
Masterpiece, gift to us all.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's a very, very good. Like, there you go, multi.
Okay, I will look into it after the stream to not kill my stream. Anyhow, what do you have going on, Gray?
That's about the most of it. Me and Tim are doing a news thing, and I'm working on a couple of random videos. Other than that, every Thursday on that darn Kiddos channel, The Thinkers. But yeah, that's about it. Got nothing going on.
That's cool. And by the way, I got some interesting news. Miss Parkle apparently knows a leftist that may be interested into the culture war talk. Now, the good thing is if I can talk to the person, to let him or let them know like what's up with that. That could be very interesting to explore if that happens.
I love it when people get the wrong idea because the image when you actually see the image, you will understand why it's ironic. And see, there you go, Gray. What is your reaction to that?
Anyhow,
It's okay though. I will guess I will see you at least.
yeah, we will talk later, guys. That was very fun. That was a great stream as usual. And chat, thank you for being there.